And hello, everyone. This is Michael Condon representing the TooMedToo Star Wars Network. And this is the Holocron House. We're taking a little break from doing the Rise of Skywalker visual dictionary, and we are doing the Rise of Skywalker, or I'm sorry, the Art of the Rise of Skywalker, because that just came out, and it's my channel, and that's what I decided to do. So, suck it. I'm sorry, I shouldn't say that. That's just what we decided to do on this network. We, the board of directors, took a poll, and that would be Twitter, and they said do this instead of that. So that's what we're doing. So if there's anybody on here that wants to hop on, let me know so I have someone to chat with about the art. I've been working on the camera, and I think this is the best I'm going to get it because I don't have a book stand and I don't have a tripod that is tall enough to go high to give it a good enough look. So this is where we are, which is going to have to be good enough for today. So anybody want to hop on here and chat with me? Feel free. I'll repost the link right here. And you don't have to be on camera. We can just chat because I was trying to set it up with a second camera and it really wasn't working too well. So this is just how it's going to be. But I guess we'll give it a minute or two and get started. The only news doesn't really have to do with art or the Holocron House. Well, it does have to do with the Holocron House. Some of the books from Project Luminous are rumored to be delayed at the moment. So we don't even have the books out and anything going on. But they've already been sending out notices that the book will not be coming out in time, which is in August or October. I forget which book it was. But that kind of makes sense due to the fact that the majority of the books are not printed. I'm going to say almost all of the books are not printed in the United States. They're probably printed in China, and China is shut down. I have my book that is on a Kickstarter, and that was supposed to come out in the first quarter of the year, and it is being delayed, and they're hoping it will be out in sometime in the second quarter. And that book I will be going through also, but that will just be on my Patreon feed to start off with, and then possibly after I've completed the Patreon feed with it, I will put it on the regular YouTube feed. So I guess nobody wants to get on here and talk about art with me. All you gotta do is click the link. We got Mr. Rez, we got Rural Farm Boy, we got Kylo Ren Flores, we got a couple other people hiding out, keeping quiet, but that's all right. As long as you're here supporting, that's what matters. Well, okay then, let's get started. We've given everybody a few minutes to get in here, unless anything else there we got going on. Rural Farm Boy, I'll send you after the stream. I'll send you Kylo Ren Flores's Twitter, because if you're looking for Kylo Ren Flores, you're not going to find it that way. But all right, so I guess give me 1 second here. I need to do something real quick. All right. So, meet me. How are you doing? I'm out working and doing fun stuff, and Danielle's stuck in the house. So she's going a little bit stir crazy because I'm the only human contact she's had in 2 weeks. So I guess that would drive anyone fucking nuts. but oh, is that not the StreamYard? Okay, that's the YouTube link. Copy that. And there you are, Rural Farm Boy. That is the link that I should have posted a long time ago, but I posted the wrong one because that's what happens sometimes. But all right, so I guess Rural Farm Boy, you coming on here? Anybody else coming on? Oh, we got Gannon 136. How you doing? You can hop on here too and chat with us. We're going. How are you doing today, Anthony?
Doing very well. Yeah, I don't have to be on screen because I don't have a copy to follow along with you through, so I can just kind of sit like over your left shoulder, and every next page you turn, I can just kind of be your ooh and ah cheerleader sort of kind of thing.
All right. Well, yeah, that's what I kind of need right now because it's
Mm-hmm.
I got it set up really weird. I don't know if you were on right when it started, but the I don't have a book stand and I have it propped. Well, I'll show you how I'll move it, but I got it propped up on on some art books. That's the art of what do we got here? We got Solo and Force Awakens and Last Jedi, the Art of the Fallen Order, Year by Year, Ultimate Star Wars, and the Collector's Box, which I use for my. That is now my knickknack box or whatever.
That's kind of in relation. You should see my setups for the back of the tank every Monday night. Something akin to that. Do what must be done to get it done. No, that's a good setup. So you're aiming to show the book. No, that.
Well, yeah, this is. I figured most people don't have this book because it's not as the art of books aren't as popular as like the visual dictionaries and things like that, and they're about twice as much too.
Mm-hmm.
I was looking to get the original books, going back like episode 4, 5, and 6, and those if you buy them new are about $120, and even used in good condition, they're about 70 or 80. You can find them and they say like acceptable, but that means they're written on and everything, and especially for an art book you don't want them written on, I don't believe. But all right, we're gonna just go and get started with this bad boy. We have the cover and it shows the art of the Rise of Skywalker, and you have Rey and Kylo. That was some of the original artwork that we got, and it is written by Phil Stosak, and the forward is by Doug Chang. And let's see here. I'm kind of hugging this thing right now, but I got to try and make it a little. Try and make it a little.
Your friends ain't following Phil Sostak in the Twitterverse or what have you. No, definitely hit him up. He shares so many things every day, and lately a lot of it's from this book.
He does, and you probably can't read that. I don't know; it's probably too small. But the art of the Rise of Skywalker is the official behind-the-scenes companion to the definitive conclusion of the Skywalker saga. Even though that's not true because we still have episode 10 coming. Show up, Roll Farm Boy. Nobody asked you. Featuring conceptual sketches and artwork, keyframe and matte paintings, costumes and vehicle designs, storyboards, and much more. This book offers fans exclusive access to the Lucasfilm art department creative process. J.J. Abrams' Star Wars The Force Awakens returns to direct this final installment of the Star Wars sequel trilogy, which is a script co-written by Abrams and Academy Award winner Chris Terrio, Argo. The film rejoins Rey, Daisy Ridley, Finn, John Boyega, and Poe Oscar Isaac a year after the events of The Last Jedi, led by General Leia Organa, Carrie Fisher, in the final film appearance. The remnants of the Resistance move forward a final confrontation with Kylo Ren, Ben Solo, Adam Driver, and an increasingly emboldened First Order, all while reckoning with their past and their own inner turmoil. Led by Academy Award-winning production design Rick Carter, Forrest Gump, Avatar, Lincoln, Star Wars, The Force Awakens, the trilogy veteran Kevin Jenkins, Guardians of the Galaxy, Star Wars, the group of incomparable artists, designers, and dreamers known as the Lucasfilm Visualists came together to create the visual language and full imagined cinematic landscape of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker. Oh, you guys can't read that at all the way I have it, huh? Okay, well, that's how it is. I lost my spot now. We're just going to go with right here, I think. The Rise of Skywalker art of the Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is the only book to explore their visions for this final film in stunning detail, taking readers on a deep dive into the developments of the Rise of Skywalker, fantastic worlds, characters, and creatures, both old and new. Exclusive interviews with the filmmakers and with Lucasfilm Visualists provide a running commentary on the extraordinary art and design of the film, revealing the inspirations behind movie making magic at its finest. The art of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker is the definitive chronicle of the vision, innovation, and creativity that helped guide the Skywalker saga to its conclusion. Now, a lot of this book, you're going to see it's a bunch of little passages or whatnot. See, now I moved the book. It took me fucking an hour to get it up good.
That's good. It's
sorry, Mom, if you're listening. I told my mom she's allowed to watch, but she's got to keep the sound off because, it's definitely
rated R.
Yeah, sometimes I try and keep it clean, but every once in a while they slip out. See, I had a good joke there, but I kept that one to myself.
No, if Force Toast girls can do it, you can do it.
All right, so this first picture we have here, Rural Farm Boy, what's this first picture of?
Let me take a gander here. Is that the Forest of Agent Glass?
It doesn't say anything, but I would believe so. That's why I was asking. Hopefully it tells us on this next page. Oh, there we go.
It is.
We have the training of Luke, and the training of Leia with Luke, although it doesn't really say it, but since we have seen the movie and we're a bunch of nerds, we've figured that out ourselves.
In my own head, for me, because I know some folks will say that a word or a thing is something that sets someone off, is lightly referred to as kind of a triggered thing. And training, to me, I keep hearing it all over the place. And that's maybe a lesson or two. Training is over a long period of time.
She did it for almost a year. I mean, she did it until she was pregnant and knew she was pregnant. So, I mean, I guess it depends your definition of training. Is training a couple weeks, or is training a couple months, or is training a couple years? It would depend on what it is, because you'd always be, like, as a Jedi, you'd always be training. What do you guys think? As a Jedi, you'd always be training. So you train forever. Josh Roach is here. How are you doing, Josh? If you guys aren't following Josh, he is on the Talking Sith podcast. His buddy Casey was in and visited with us yesterday. So this is good. We're seeing a lot of people coming back and forth. I was on their live stream this past weekend, I believe. Well, I know I was on their live stream this past weekend, but
I'm going to jump in that live chat right now. Turn my volume down. Let's see. Oh, Patrick's here. Gannon 136.
Yeah, I told him to hop on. He said he just woke up and he was going to go get something to eat and stop back in a few minutes.
Yep, he's there. Good to see Patrick.
And that's why I think it's good that I started doing this on Facebook also, because there's a lot of friends I have that, I mean, Megan said hi to me earlier. She said, "Hi, Michael." And she's not a Star Wars fan, but she's one of my best friends from, she's one of my best friends. And she would never be on YouTube chatting with me, but she stopped in here to show a little support, which is great. So, and I know Josh doesn't hang out on YouTube or Twitter, I don't believe, too much. And so it's on Facebook. He saw it. He stopped by to say hello and maybe talk a little bit about the book. But anyways, yeah. So I don't know. What do you guys think? Is it just lessons or is it training? Because training would just be holistic, and lessons would be each part. So that's how I would take it. So I mean, I don't know what lesson this is, but this lesson is part of her training. Is the way I would go with it. But then again, I guess that is headcanon on what you want to consider things. So, anyways, we have Luke teaching Leia the ways of the Force. And then on the next one, we have the fight that took place in the water. This is right. This is where they were fighting on the arm of the destroyer. I'm gonna guess. Oh, did Royal Farm Boy pop out? Anthony, did I kick you out?
And kick myself out, but back now.
All right. Yeah, Patrick says, it appears to be a sparring session, but it's 6 of one, half dozen of another. It's just.
Well, he's also asking, does novelization dive deeper into that scene? I would say yeah.
Yeah, it does. I actually have 2 copies of the novelization. One when I go through and read it to make notes in, and then I don't have any books of the novelizations because I just get them on Audible. But this one was so good that I decided to go with it, and one that I can make notes on and talk with people about, and then one that is not going to be covered with scribbles and stuff, I guess. So. But yeah, Patrick was right. This was on the old Death Star number 2 that they were fighting on. And then we have the Millennium Falcon. And we already talked about the beginning of it and just table of contents. But we have here some artwork with what's better, this or like that? Oh, that's too dark. Let's see if the camera fixes it.
A little too dark.
That's too dark. Okay.
That's in the sand tunnels of Pisana, and where they come across that Vexus sand.
Yes, sir. That's where we see the controversial, not controversial, shut up, crybabies, healing power. Now, do you all want me to go through and read like the forward and everything? Or do you want me to skip over and just do art?
How much toward the beginning of the book, I'm curious, have you already got to kind of take a look at, just setting for yourself? And
I haven't. I flipped through and looked at a few pages, but I'll give you a quick look. There's not a lot of, there's a lot of where I can just read it real quick and summarize, but you have a lot of pages that are, concept art, and then just really quick, 2 sentences about it. So there's not a lot that are going to be reading. So, that first page, and then this will be the only lot with the lot of reading. So
I'd say maybe just as a suggestion, tell me your thoughts. That left-hand page that has Kylo Ren watching the Falcon, surely on the next page it's got a description or caption of what that art piece is, since the book is the art of. If there's something that stands out in a paragraph as you're looking at that page, maybe that's something.
Okay, well, here we go. It says that the first page is the Forest version, detail 1. So this is Forest version, detail 1. Then we have Saber Fight, Skull version. That's what it's. So they didn't label it on the page; they labeled it on the side.
Yeah, they had to go next page.
Okay. Then the next page we have Abandoned Death Star version 3.
Okay, that would be concept art. I'm gonna guess that they started with from an idea from Force Awakens and left it off to the side, if I remember hearing that right.
Okay, and then this one is Planet Ring Chase Study.
Oh, okay, right there.
Okay, and then we go into the Sinkhole sketch version. And it comes out Kylo Ren, Falcon Takeoff. And I might as well give people the proper dues because they spent a lot of time on this shit. Page 1, the Force version, is Kevin Jenkins. Page 2 and 3, the Saber Fight, is Andre Wallen and Adam Baines. 4 and 5, the Abandoned Death Star version, is Whalen and Stefan Teppen. The Ring Chase is Wallen. The Sinkhole is Adam Bachbank. And Kylo Ren Falcon Takeoff is Whalen and Baines. And the next page, the Burning Tie version, is Whalen, and that's going to be this one.
Oh, and Hawk too. There's some new concept artist names I ain't familiar with.
So maybe maybe after this I should try and get a hold of a couple of these guys and get them to do some artwork for me. That would be pretty fucking awesome. But I got Chris Hall. You can't ask for a better artist than Chris Hall doing artwork for you. If you can think of anybody, let me know. I think there might be a person or two in this chat that does some artwork, and I'd love to see what they do. But all right, well, I'm going to go ahead and read this forward. So if you're watching it live and don't really care about this forward, come back in about 3 or 4 minutes. If you are watching this afterwards, just forward a couple of minutes when you see the page turn. But more than 40 years ago, George Lucas established the template for the modern Star Wars art department when he assembled a small group of gifted artists to design Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. Ralph McQuarrie, Joe Johnson, and Nilo Rodis Jamero. Is that right, Anthony?
Nilo Rodis Jamero. Yep.
Okay,
he's from long ways back.
I wasn't alive then, and you're already running around with the girls, so I figured you would probably know that. Led that charge. And it's their legacy that we build upon today. When I first started working with George Lucas in 1995, it was clear that we're all guests in his sandbox. He set the rules and marked the boundaries. Within the vast playground, his rules guided us while allowing us freedom to invent. I found the boundaries, the gray area, straddling the lines between what is Star Wars and what is not, to be most appealing. Strong designs almost always push the envelope, but it's a very delicate balance. Push too much and it's not Star Wars anymore. Push too little, push too much the other way, and we're just copying what's been done before. I feel like I'm reading at church right now, because if you saw the way I had the books stood up, I'm pretty much standing up, hunched over, reading this. So this is what I do for you people, because I love you, because you're my friends, and that's what it's all about. We're all in this together. And if you don't have the book, this is as close as you're going to get. And if you can't go to Celebration when we have it, I'm going to have you just like this. Hopefully I won't be bent over a table for you. That's inappropriate. So George encouraged us to explore this gray area because he knew this was where we would find the most exciting ideas. He didn't want us to play it safe. He challenged us to be bold. As a result, I learned to embrace risk as a means to find bold new ideas. He had only one requirement. He insisted that the new ideas he grounded in the old, just as fantasy had been grounded in reality. The movie sets have to be rooted in real places. The same design challenge remains more than 40 years later. With the release of Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker, at first glance, this book may look like a simple compilation of beautiful paintings and drawings. So far it does. But look closer and you'll find layers of meaning, function, and history within each piece. They represent lifetimes of work, research, and experience needed to create these visionary concepts. Some of the concepts may look simple and obvious, as good ideas often do, but that's the magic of concept artists. They make it look easy, as if it was always meant to be. However, finding the simplicity is rarely a straight path. It can be a long, curious journey. For example, something seemingly as straightforward as designing the next generation of Star Wars destroyers is not as easy as it first appears. We have to pay respect to the original design while giving justification for new modifications, the changes needed to be rooted in story. And that's what we were kind of having a conversation about yesterday with um, Reaper Girl 27,
Mm-hmm.
because like a lot of people, she has issues with the technology that advances, where in The Last Jedi they were able to track ships through hyperspace. Now they can track ships through hyperspace. Even a TIE fighter can do that and follow them at the same time. So when
Mm-hmm.
they were hyperspace skipping, people have issue with that because you can't do that. Well, now you can, because that's just an advancement. That's just an advancement with force techniques. And in my, I'm not very humble, but I am humble opinion, um, when you have the force abilities where Ray is so far off, so advanced than everybody else, well, she has all the books that have been, hidden for thousands of years and missing. So any of the secrets in there, she can learn and start using. I know that she might not be able to get, the Jedi's to talk to her like she wanted and she was trying to in the beginning of the movie when she was sitting around floating around with a bunch of rocks. But that was pretty cool too. And look what happens when she needed them and she was able to use that power to get them. They came and chatted with her, and that's the whole other thing too. Then we got the Ahsoka story, but we'll go off of that and we'll just get back to some reading. Ooh, concept artists are visual storytellers. We are designers, architects, cinematographers, costume designers, and set decorators. We are also researchers, historians, and world builders. Our art form encompasses a wide range of skills that can be hard to label under a single description. Concept art comprises the illusions that suspend disbelief and immerse the audience in the story. We provide visions of what is possible and develop promises of what could be. We help the audience to see and believe in the film experience while the methods of its creation remain hidden. We merge diverse ideas to create designs that are fresh and exciting yet familiar. Throughout the process, we share a common goal, a shared dream to create the unforgettable imagery that inspires awe while paying respect what came before.
Mm-hmm.
Creating compelling designs means being unafraid of failure. Good concept artists listen to their inner child. They embrace a child's innate ability to create without inhibition. The unbridled creativity, unbounded by fear, is what drives great design. What makes for good cinematic design, then, it's a misconception that inventing worlds is as simple as painting a beautiful picture. While it may seem the fantastic worlds demand fantastic imagery, that is often not the case, and certainly not what it comes to be well worn, lived in worlds of the Star Wars universe. Viewing objects from a different point of view can turn the ordinary into extraordinary. It really can, because just take a look at that book, because that book was pretty freaking awesome. Um, Research provides the anchor, the vast wealth of knowledge accumulated from thousands of years of human ingenuity, provided endless inspirations and grounds our concept in reality. I just lost my spot. With research, we are all like archaeologists, digging up ancient relics and uncovering hidden treasures. And yet the art cannot exist in isolation as pure spectacle. It needs a purpose. It needs to serve the story first and foremost. It's conceiving art for films. There are two distinct phases of design. The first phase, the goal is to set inspirational bar as high as possible. The first phase or development phase can be considered the brain dump, where all ideas are put forth as viable concepts. And almost always the initial ideas are bad. The trick is to get the bad ideas out quickly, so the good ones emerge from there. The vision inevitably diminishes once the realities of execution, schedule, and budget comes into play. The second phase, the production phase, hones. Oh god damn, what am I saying here? Hones the initial inspirational idea into a design that can be executed. In the end, artwork is deeply personal yet immensely collaborative in the Star Wars traditions set by George and followed to this day. Much of the art in this book doesn't have one creator, but many. We work together as a team where ideas flow from one artist to another, growing and amplifying with each iteration. We excel by elevating and pushing each other to go beyond the personal limits. Each artist is given autonomy autonomy to create, to set themselves free to do what they do best. The goal of the art department is to energize each artist with a broader shared vision. The the art of Star Wars, The Rise of Skywalker, offers a glimpse into the creative process that has been going on for more than 40 years. It is a record of each artist's skill, passion, thought process behind their creations. This book commemorates the discarded ideas alongside the ones that did commemorate with discarded ideas along the ones oh shit, what am I doing here? This book commemorates the discarded ideas along with the ones that did make the cut. This is a culmination of multi-year design process to bring J.J. Abrams' incredible, heartfelt story to life. It is a tribute to the many artists who sang Rise to the Rise of Skywalker. All right, you can all clap for me now because that's probably the most reading I've done in years.
No, actually, you pretty much nailed that. And a couple things that you read that touched on in there were things that they mentioned at least twice. How they were taking what was familiar with from the past, keeping that in mind, definitely honoring it, and being able to move it forward using those things that was familiar from stories past. And that's exactly what they did. And you were trying to speak to that concerning the hate for space tracking and such. Yeah, that was something that was told before, and they advanced it while still keeping it in honor of.
So,
and one more thing that I kept tucked in when you started it out, you mentioned Nilo Rojas Tamara.
yes.
You'd be most familiar with him, especially when you end up picking up those early art of books. He was instrumental with a lot of the design of Return of the Jedi. He designed the entire biker scout uniform, costume, the helmet, the armor, everything to do with Palpatine's advisors. He designed the Imperial Royal Guards costumes and uniforms. He was very, very, very instrumental in designing that, and he's still aboard at Lucasfilm all these years later, lending a hand.
You know, if you know me, you know I'm horrible with names. And like if you listen to Coruscant Coach's Corner, that when me and Pappas were talking about the Mandalorian, we made up our own names. A lot of them were just kind of funny, and maybe some profane. But you know, I know people by their face, and you ask them what kind of drink they want or how they want their rack of lamb cooked, and what they're going to do with this or that, and are they going to get Swiss chard as a side, or I can, you walk in, I have that in my memory, but you ask me what your name is, and shit, if I remember that, that's just not my style. But not my style, just that's not my thing, so that's tough for me. But I can tell you everything about your life, but not your name. So that's where that comes from. But
maybe all right, it's fortunate that later last week I was going through the what is it? Story of Stormtroopers, the book that came out in like 2016 around Rogue One, that's concerning everything to do with the history of Stormtroopers and Star Wars stories, from A New Hope clean up to Last Jedi, and every other variation of them. And he was mentioned in there. So I was just taking a look at that not too long ago when you brought that up. That threw up that little red flag for me. Hey, I was just reading about that. All right, but I'm derailing part of Rise of Skywalker.
All right. So is somebody blocked in here, or did somebody get blocked? I don't know. I'm just.
Yeah, Miss Chris done an accidental, same thing that Mr. Rez did last week. Something happened that Patrick got blocked out of chat, and I just seen that as you were starting to read the foreword. And
Okay. I think it's fixed. Did Rez fix it? It says because I just have one from him that says TooMedToo is Maz Kanata. I mean, I don't know if I want to be known as Maz Kanata, but there's a lot worse people. I mean, you know.
Yeah, he's back. All is well. Carry
Okay.
on.
Yeah, that things like that happen. That's just
do.
let us know and we'll take care of it. But all right, let's
Yeah,
see. Let's get into the next page. We already saw this one.
Mm-hmm.
Just to go over it really quick again, it's the Burning version by Whalen.
Now, being concept art.
Not that the authors or the anybody that wrote this book is ever going to see this probably, but if I pronounce your name, I'm sorry, but I'm still trying to give you credit. So, all right.
What's different about that there split page from what we was told through the actual film story? There's something different in that from what we know. That's a standard first order TIE fighter. It don't got the TIE whisper bent wings. They're all straight.
Yeah, that you could be right on that one, but then again, it's concept art. So they just say draw us a picture, write us a picture, and that's what we got. So
this is what they started with, and yeah, what we got was the final one. Yeah, I like little things like that.
Oh, now we got an introduction. How much more reading is there of this? I got to read all this shit again. I mean, I'm not saying Phil Stozek's words are shit. They're really not, but whew, I'm gonna put my belt on for this one or loosen it up. I don't know what to say because. Oh, where's my girlfriend? She just walked out of the bedroom and went to the kitchen. Maybe I can get her. Maybe Delilah can come read it. Yeah, Dad, I'll come read.
So the first introduction was Doug Chang, and now this one's Phil Szostak? Is that
yes.
What I see? Okay.
So this is the picture that we got with it. Do you want to read this for me? It's only about 1,000 words. Thanks. The love. At least she smiled at me when she said no. So, all right, there's the picture we got. And it is the hangar battle version detail. All right, Earl Farmer, do me a favor for a second. Just go ahead and talk about this picture, whatever comes to your mind. I need a second.
Sure. Oh, let's see. Rey and Kylo Ren, and I'm seeing. I don't know if that looks like that. I'm taking that to be in the throne room. What's left of Death Star 2. That's the only place. Well, it can't be because Ben's not wearing his helmet. So maybe that's aboard Death Star on the outside in the ocean unkept beer. And I wish the camera was a little bit closer because I was making that out blurry. Yeah, Miss Chris, that's Kylo and Rey having a fit. Now, who's having the fit? Is it Ben or is it Rey? Because up until they were outside when we sees the turbo laser turrets and whatnot, Rey she kept skirting that edge. I'm just taking a look at that concept book with the art, with the look on her face. Ben stayed relatively calm through their confrontations, both inside and outside. And she was skirting the edge. Oh, thank you, Patrick. Yeah, like I said, I love little things like that just kind of take note. That I noticed, yeah, those were standard TIE Fighter solar panels and not the angled ones. Yeah, I'm thinking, just taking a look on her face, yes, there's quite a few times through this story that she very skirted the edge of anger. And she come back from it, but And he pushed her those couple times to try to get her to go that way. Let's see.
And Rural Farm Boy, you got somebody who wants to say hi to you.
Lady. Little Miss Delilah. Hey, little girl.
Oh my God, I'm so big. Look at me, I'm like Godzilla. Okay, baby.
Kind of, but without scales. It's like a furry Godzilla. Alrighty, I think I took everything that I could take from just that one piece of artwork right there. Just wondering whether the caption for it says they're in the throne room aboard what's left of Death Star 2, or if that's out on what's left of the hull of the Death Star.
That is...
Because it looks to me like they're in the throne room, but I could be wrong because you're in Brooklyn and I'm in Western Pennsylvania.
That is the hangar battle.
Oh, all right. I was 0 for 2 on that one.
Oh, Delilah messed us all up. She's lucky. She's lucky. She's so cute. All right, so I'm gonna try and get through this bad boy. He's got a lot more words than our other friend, but hang on. Give me 1 second, and I will start on the reading.
'Tis your show. Take your time.
And Rural Farm Boy, we got somebody else joining us.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Hey,
Patrick.
I didn't mean to
How are
put you
you?
on there if you didn't want to be. It clicks on you automatically. So,
How's Mr. Covey on this Wednesday? Uh-oh, did we lose you?
no, he's still here, but I don't know if he wanted to be on camera, so he moved out. Oh, he said be right back. Might have to restart. So,
Miss Chris in the chat still feeling bad that she kicked him out, and I'm telling her it's all good. On we go.
and before I start this page, while I still have breath in my lungs or can breathe, this is the Holocron House on the TooMedToo Star Wars Network, and it is brought to you, Session 1, by Rural Farm Boy, Kylo Rez Flores, Chris from Kentucky, Mr. Rez, and Kylo of Kylo Customs. They are my patrons. If you would like to join my Patreon and be friends with them, there's no tiers. You just give whatever you want to give so that I can buy cameras and memory and just help out a little bit with the production of everything, because it does get a little bit expensive, and it won't go to my toys. That comes out of my pocket. And then every once in a while, I've posted a couple things on there that don't go on the regular feed, and that's just kind of what you get. So there we are. And Patrick, if you want to come back on, I'll keep you off camera like I do with. I have Anthony right now. It's just when I click you on to come in, it automatically puts you in. So that's why I clicked on you. But you don't have to be on if you don't want to. Well, you can't be on because I'm showing the book, but that's the only reason that you came up earlier. So if he pops on, let me know so I can get him in so he can talk with us, because I'm going to be reading for a while. I'll see you in a half hour when I come up for breath. This is the introduction by Phil Stosak, and I'm pretty sure that is the pronunciation of his name, even though it's a million different ways. What ultimately is the art of Star Wars? What is it that makes this modern mythology resonate so strongly across so many cultures around the world? What is it that makes the design created by Ralph McQuarrie, Colin Cantwell, Joe Johnston, Nilo Roger? What's that one, Anthony?
Nilo Rojas Jamero.
Okay, yeah, what he said. Doug Chang and countless others, so iconic and indelible, simple enough for any child to draw, but also incredibly layered and complex in meaning, with a depth of thought reflecting the culture, historical, and artistic influences behind them. Over the years, Over the years, Star Wars creator George Lucas has invoked the words of one of the greatest influences, director Akira Kurosawa. What's that
Ooh,
name?
that
He's
one I
he's the
can't lend a hand without seeing it.
Akira Akira, and last name is Kurosawa.
Oh, Akira Kurosawa.
Yeah, that's what I said.
The hidden fortress. Yeah,
Yeah, I was close.
gotcha.
In describing the quality he hoped to achieve with Star Wars, an immaculate reality. It's got to look like a real place, Lucas told fellow creator James Cameron in 2018. I believe he told him probably that before 2018, but that was in some interview that it was told. The monumental societal shifts of the 1960s that so impacted George Lucas's worldview were likewise reflected in the films of Kurosawa and I don't know. This is obviously in some type of Asian language. Edajoki Chamara. It's a sword fighting movies such as Seven Samurai and the single film with the greatest story influence of Star Wars Episode 4: A New Hope, The Hidden Fortress. Kurosawa masterfully conjured the harsh winds and appealing downrain, the muck, grit, and clutter of daily life in the countryside of Senkaku and Edo period Japan. I'm sorry that I have horrible pronunciation with the Asian languages or names or cities or whatever. The romanticized samurai heroes of old were replaced by unkempt, flea-bitten, and flawed, but simply deeply virtuous human beings fighting for the common man against a system and society that valued obedience and honor over life itself. Star Wars films are inherently period films as well, drawing more upon earthbound human history and culture than other imagined features, finished with whole cloth, as Lucasfilm design supervisor James Klein observed in 2017. Star Wars doesn't live in the future, it lives in the past. People inevitably think Star Wars, it's science fiction. They want to do something sleek and futuristic. But I would constantly be saying, let's look at this German flank gun or Luftwaffe fighter from the early 40s. That's our world. On December 17th, 1975, 2.5 years into the development of Star Wars, George Lucas spoke with advertising and publicity supervisor Charles Lippincott. I'm trying to make everything look very natural, a casual almost I've seen this before look, Lucas said, like the X-Wing and TIE fighter battle you say, I've seen that in World War II. But wait a minute, that isn't any kind of jet I've ever seen before. I want the whole film to have that quality. It's a very hard thing to come by because it should look very familiar, but at the same time not be familiar at all. I keep saying, keep it nondescript, Lucas continued. I say that every time, every place I can. I don't want any of the costumes, any of the spaceships, any sets of any animals. I don't want anything in the movie to stand out. If the whole movie looks like that, it'll be terrific. I'm working very hard to keep everything non-symmetrical. It's a very common thing in science fiction to see a set that has one influence. Everything matches. The chairs match the table, matching the rug, match the design of the doors, match the door handle, match the lamps. I want it to look like one thing came from one part of the galaxy and another thing came from another part of the galaxy. And that's really pretty much true, because if you look at different cities and different planets, they are completely different.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Which we're going to see a lot of that in probably in this book and many more times in the Holocron house as we go along.
How many pages is this book, out of curiosity?
Just looking really quick, I'm at 250, and there's a couple after that, but yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Lucas was also drawn to Gilbert Taylor's documentary-style camera work on A Hard Day's Night and Doctor Strangelove, hiring the director of photography to serve the same function on Star Wars Episode IV: New Hope. Through Taylor, Lucas hoped the same casual and nondescript attitude would be brought to the way the movie was shot, as if the film crew from the Star Wars universe were dropped into the desert of Tatooine. The maze-like Death Star corridors and Yavin 4's jungle temples, not paying much mind to the everyday background coming of goings of floating land speeders, marching stormtroopers, and Jawas on siesta. I'm trying to make a film that looks very real, with a gritty, nitty feel, which is hard to do in the film that is essentially a fantasy, Lucas observed. Framing-wise, I'm going to try for a semi-documentary loose frame that will give it a nervous now quality, a sense of being captured, which will look real, but at the same time be slightly fantastic. Binding all those things together will create, hopefully, a fantasy documentary look. In my capability of Lucasfilm's creative art manager, I shared this interview with the Force Awakens co-producer designer Rick Carter and Lucasfilm executive creative director Doug Chang on May 16, 2013, and with The Last Jedi production designer Rick Henricks on October 23, 2014. Early in the concept of both films, the sequel trilogy production designs took George Lucas's words on Star Wars design to heart. It's hard to tell if Lucas was making a virtue out of necessity in some aspects. Henrik wonders in 2016, but certainly he was able to articulate it was an aesthetic in all of the quotes that you provided for me. You would not see, let's not make the props too noticeable. Let's not make the set too distinguished or stand out. It was an aesthetics of let's keep things moving along. Let's make it about the characters of the story. And we got a little bit left on here. The breadth of George's imagination is just staggering, Rick Carter said in 2013, and his ability to direct and empower the people around him to imagine and then all funnel into something that's then so clear and clean. Unbelievable. That's why George Lucas, that's why even without him fully participating in our films, you know that everything you are doing is his service. Through their work on the Star Wars sequel trilogy, Rogue One and Solo, a new generation of filmmakers, including Star Wars: The Rise of Skywalker co-writer and director J.J. Abrams, for whom the original Star Wars trilogy meant everything, dared to try recapture an exclusive Star Wars aesthetic. That immaculate reality laid down by Lucas more than 40 years ago. In my conversations and hundreds of art department meetings with these artists, their devotion to Lucas' vision, the seriousness with which they took up the mantle of Star Wars was to one both and palpable and develop personal and deeply personal, as evidenced by the explanation of imagination expressed by the pages of the modern art of the Star Wars book series. They succeed beyond all possible expectations and measures. With The Rise of Skywalker, Abrams' spectacular conclusion to the Skywalker saga, a trifecta of 3 trilogies born of the imagination of George Lucas and designers McQuarrie, Cantel, Johnson, Radis Jamaro, Chang, et al., comes to an end at the circle now complete, but the art of Star Wars lives on its core ideal and aesthetics resonating not only into the next chapter as the story Star Wars franchise, but with countless future generations of artists, storytellers, and dreamers. So that's what we had by Phil Stosak, and whew, that's a lot of reading. I'm not used to reading like that, so it seems that most people don't like the reading. They're just here for the pictures, but they lose because this is important stuff to know. And we're going to try and bring in.
What I
Patrick
took away from
again,
that,
and Patrick, you're going to be on screen for a second when I click you on, but then I'll click you off for the book. And there
Guys,
he
how's
is.
it going?
How
Hopefully
you
the
doing?
cam's actually working this time.
All right. So yeah, I think that was all the words for the book, or the big ones. So that was 40 minutes of reading than I wasn't expecting to do. I was planning on being halfway through this book by now, but I guess that's not how it's going to end up. I guess we're going to have a trilogy, but that's kind of to be expected. Rural Farm Boy and I are going through the visual dictionary right now, and our next session is session 8. Each one's about an hour to an hour and a half long. There's been a couple I think that are closer to 2, and I think we're on page 70. So we're doing about 10 pages per session, just because that's how long it's taken us to go through it. No, he might be getting kicked off again. I don't know if it's his computer or not, but
Still here? I think it's my computer.
okay. While you're here, you want to tell everybody where they can find you if you want to, or you can just...
Yeah, you guys can find me over on Twitter at Gannon136. I'm always chatting up Star Wars stuff with you guys and sharing your stuff. I love seeing what you guys are doing.
All right. So, yeah, that talked about how they're still trying to respect George Lucas's ideas and what what they think he would want to do, and if he was still making the movies. It's not midichlorians and everything, which he was kind of going towards, but his original ideas is, I think, what they're trying to keep. And, let's be honest, there's never going to be another Star Wars. I don't think they're ever going to remake another movie that's going to be Star Wars. A New Hope, which it is now called, just because of, what it was. And, you hear the years that he was putting into the characters and development, and, we see a lot of the development changing through, Han Solo was a lizard person, or whatever it was, and just the original thoughts and that he was delving out. But there'll never be another Star Wars. There's nothing that's ever come close to it, and nothing I don't think that ever will. That one movie that spawned another 10 movies after it, plus countless books and cartoons and people sitting around just talking about it, plus whatever else we still have to come. Star Wars changed the world. If George never got a green light on that, or never made it, or would have changed some decisions, or didn't have his wife coming through to say, dude, your story's crap, I need to fix it for you. We wouldn't be sitting here. We wouldn't be sitting here talking right now.
What I took from what you read near the middle and the end, and a little bit at the beginning, I take this as kind of like a written or printed version or other half of the documentary, the Skywalker Legacy, because so many folks that I've been listening to and gave a listen to are taking notice just how much, and it can't even be quantified in the way of words, how much Lucasfilm put into, and every person that was really related to having something to do with putting together this story, how they put every ounce of their love, their fandom, their understanding of what George started and wanted, and how they did it, honoring what he did as he told, to tell this story. Now there's the printed version. This is like the other half of that documentary. And what they just said, everybody put everything they had, including their love and their fandom, into telling the story. From JJ to the fella at the back of the filming studio sweeping the floor. Everybody put everything they had into this, honoring the way he told before, in hopes of being able to do, and everybody's taking notice that they did do just that, except for them loud to you, but we're not talking about them. That's my thoughts. Wondering what Patrick's got.
Yeah, I think it's a pretty interesting situation on this film, because you got all these people who are now a generation of fans who've actually come together. Some of them went to film school, or they went out and they got these jobs in the studios, and they were inspired by Star Wars, and now they're actually getting the chance to finally create Star Wars. And if you guys got to see the new documentary on the movie that just came out, there's like people who are literally just coming out of like high school and college who've literally grown up on Star Wars and the prequels, and they're like, "Oh my God, I can't believe it! I'm on the set of Episode 9 and I get to work on this movie. This is crazy."
Yep.
Yeah, and even like it was just saying in Phil Stosak's introduction, like you just said, the people that originally watched it or grew up with it, my viewpoint of Star Wars, even though it's very similar to Rural Farm Boys, is going to be a little bit different because the Star Wars came out the year before I was born, so I grew up with it, actually grew up with it, where Rural Farm Boy was a teenager or close to it when it first came out, so he already had life experience when it came out, so he was awed by it, where it was part of my life. And these people that are coming out now that grew up with the prequels, and just like same movie but different point of view, because it's just a different experience how it came out for them, and the life was a little bit different in the 70s than it was in the 2000 when the prequels came out, or 2015 when we had the sequels come out. But let's try and get a little bit more of this book in. I'm really hoping there's no more reading, because we're gonna have to come back for that. And another day we'll come back. Remind me to go to I'll come back to give respect to everyone who worked on this book and read this page, who's who. I just don't feel like reading anymore right now today. So maybe that'll be the first thing that'll be the first thing we do for tomorrow. But this page I was showing just for Christina. We have Kylo Ren, and that's what it says. Oh
yeah,
no!
Slide me off the screen and put the whole book back up.
Oh, I forgot I had that one. I'm not paying attention. I'm not paying attention here.
You're good.
God, is there really more reading?
That's why I'm your moderator.
More reading.
Do my job.
All right. So I guess this is just the reading day today. It's like that first day of class. It's all boring until you get into the good stuff. Although I find this enjoyable. So if you don't, you can I'm not going to say anything bad against you.
Well, you didn't think you was going to get out of reading because it said the art of on the cover, did you?
I didn't know it was going to be a 20-page novel. These are bigger than full pages, because they're like double pages, but we'll see. So we have the picture of the tree library by Seth Egstrom. It's the first night we actually shot the burning tree. Frank Oz was in the pit with a puppet in his hand, and Frank goes, "So you think it might be Butchel?" Oh, but he. Yoda laughing. Okay. So you think it might be, but he. So that was supposed to be you to laugh. All right. It's kind of, it's hard to describe. It's hard to read it the way it's written from the quote, but it is what it is. The hairs went up on the back of my neck, and I looked around me and saw first assistant director James Christopher's face. You couldn't have imagined a more childlike expression on this man. Ryan was likewise captivated off the set. There must have been 30 or 40 people, and you could hear a pin drop. Everybody had stopped. They just stood there for what seemed like 30 minutes, and no one moved. I thought, this is a spiritual moment, and it was. Neil Scannon. Yeah, could you imagine sitting there looking at something and have Yoda actually in your ear talking to you? That would be
Nope.
That would be kind of freaky. Oh, and hang on, I gotta click Patrick back in. He disappeared. And you're back. I think.
Yeah, I'm back.
Okay.
All right. There we go.
And then we have this picture over here on the side of the. Let's see if I can get a little better picture of it, a little close up. I don't know. I mean, this, with this Corona thing is killing us. I mean, it's given us a little bit more time to take a look at stuff like this. Well, not me, because I'm still working. So I'm thinking that I go to work tomorrow morning, and then I'm going to work hopefully doubles to make up for the couple of days I was off. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, get that overtime in my 3 days, but we'll see what happens.
You off the rest of today?
I'm off the rest of today. I have this I'm going to do, and then I got a little bit of stuff I have to do because I'm recording with one of our friends' Patreons tonight. So I need to get some motivation for that. If you catch on to what I'm saying.
I already knew what you were saying.
All right.
I just didn't say so.
Yeah. So, well, I mean, you know, I didn't say anything, but yeah. So I'm recording that later on tonight, like 10 o'clock or so, I believe. But yeah. So I'm gonna do this, and then I don't know what I'm gonna do with the rest of the day. I got to go see what the boss wants to do. She probably wants to spend some time with me. I want to spend a little bit of time with her, and you know, figure out the rest of the day because that's kind of how life is right now. You know, right now my only day I'm scheduled. I worked Monday for a short shift, a half shift. It was like 5 hours, and then I have off yesterday and today. Well, I was scheduled to come in last night, but we close early now, so I would have gone for no one there. The doors are locked, so I had that off, and then I have today off, and then I work tomorrow, and then who knows? I was scheduled, but they changed the schedule, but I'll be able to hopefully pick up some shifts. But that's enough about me and Corona because not that I don't. I was going to say who cares about Corona, not that who cares about Corona, but there's a lot. But we always talk about it, and you know, let's try and just do some art because I got a lot of reading to do before we even get to some art. So although we have had some beautiful art, so I can't really complain about that. But let me take a sip of my beverage. Part of me trying not to be so fat, I've gone from regular Coke and pop to I can't do diet, but if you do like diet cherry, it's kind of with a bunch of ice cubes, so it melts down a little bit. It's not as bad. So, you know,
Are you
even when
Coke Zero guy,
I can't do Coke Zero. I can do Coke Zero Cherry or Pepsi Max
flavor. Yeah,
Pepsi Max because that little bit of flavor cuts the aftertaste.
It really does. I don't like the aftertaste.
I mean, I was sick and I was on medicine and it made me put on about 100 pounds and I went from about 200 to 300 and I dropped down to about 240 and was like, okay. And just started for no reason, just changed my diet a little bit and not watching what I was eating. And I put on another 20 or 30 pounds. So I need to, you know, lose that before celebration. So I'm not, you know, I'm so fat right now, I might as well just go skinny dipping if I go swimming because there's no more embarrassment that I'm going to have. So, you know, I'm joking. I'm not going to do that to all the people I'm with. Just kidding. I mean, maybe I will. I don't know. I mean, I'm not drinking, so that's, you know, not as much of a chance. But anyways, let's get back to the story. All right. Return of the Last Jedi. Directed by Rian Johnson. Brick. The Brothers Bloom, Looper, Star Wars The Last Jedi, the sequel to 2015 smash hit Star Wars The Force Awakens, opened on December 15th, 2017 in the United States to immediate fan and critical acclaim. By the end of the 18-week run, the film had earned more than $1.3 billion at the box office, becoming the highest grossing film of the year and one of the top 10 grossing films of all time, both domestically and cumulatively. As the art of Star Wars The Force Awakens in order to preserve the film going experience to Star Wars fans worldwide, concept art for the most spoiler sensitive scenes was withheld from the art of Star Wars The Last Jedi, which was released on the same day as the film. This art is revealed in the following pages for the first time. So there we go. We got some bonus footage going on, bro. The surprising what was that?
Got some deleted scenes in here.
Yeah, that's what's coming up. So I mean, we've already gone an hour. We'll probably go through maybe some of these deleted scenes and call it a day. But you know what they say? Well, what I say I'm done, and then an hour later I'm still going. So we'll see what happens. You know, that's how we got a 4.5 hour live chat the other day. And Rural Farm Boy, he stayed way past his bedtime for that one. It was his fault. He kept us going. The surprising sequences include General Leia Organa's pulling herself from the vacuum of space with the Force, Rey's vision in Octo's mirror cave, Rey and Kylo Ren's battle with Supreme Leader Snoke's Praetorian Guards, Admiral Holdo's sacrifice aboard the Resistance flagship, Luke Skywalker and Kylo's confrontation, both in the past and on the battle-scarred salt flats of Crate, and Jedi Master Yoda's spirit manifesting to the ancient Ahch-To library tree. To me, Yoda was possibly the most engaging experience that I have had with a puppet in my entire life. Creature and droid effects, creative support supervisor Neil Scanlon, Babe, The Golden Compass, Prometheus recalled. As a youngster person watching as a younger person watching The Empire Strikes Back, I loved Yoda. He was an absolute triumph of the art form that I wanted to get involved with. And I still believe that he is one of the most successful creatures or characters that we have ever been put on screen. But to create him exactly as he appeared in Empire, you almost have to take yourself out and look at Yoda in a very clinical but sympathetic way. Scenes with legendary actor and filmmaker Frank Oz, The Muppet Show, Little Shop of Horrors. Oh, I didn't know he did Little Shop of Horrors. That's one of my favorite movies. I haven't watched that recently. Maybe I'll watch that today. Bowfinger. Well, let's either watch the Little Shop of Horrors or do some content, and I'll probably try and fit in both. But sacrifices we have to make.
Do you
I'm
know
still
Indian in the Cupboard?
let's see. I
Indian
stopped
in the
talking.
Cupboard?
It doesn't say that here, but there's a good chance.
No,
I mean,
Indian
I'm
in the Cupboard's one of his too.
I think I'm 5 or 6 episodes behind turning the YouTube show into a podcast. I might just put them on there and tell people they're not edited. There's going to be long breaks and whatnot, but we'll see what happens. Depends on how much time work goes, because I could not work the rest of the week. I could end up working doubles the rest of the week, so I won't know until tomorrow. And
Alrighty.
that's where life is right now. So let's see, where were we? Puppeteering the diminutive Jedi for the first time in nearly 2 decades were shot nearly former tank slopes of Longcross Studios, England, just below the Canto Bight Casino exterior set and just above the full exterior building of the Millennium Falcon on the night of April 8th, 2016, the 49th day of The Last Jedi's principal photography. The sequences that required the most of The Last Jedi core cast, both emotionally and physically, were among the final sequences on the schedule. The flashback to Ben Solo's Jedi Temple chambers, Luke Skywalker and Kylo Ren's duel on Crate, and Rey and Kylo's battle with the Praetorians were all shot in a row on June 7th, June 8th through 10th, June 13th through 17th, respectively. Luke's unexpected appearance inside the Crate Mine control room, actors Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher's final scene together, due to Fisher's untimely passing, was shot on June 22nd and 23rd, the 88th day and 89th days of principal photography. The best stuff is the stuff that challenges the audience, Rian Johnson said, but its sole purpose isn't to defy expectations. All of these characters do the things that they do because it makes sense. Even in the beginning, with Luke throwing away the lightsaber, it wasn't so much, well, it will be funny because it's not what everyone was expecting. It's literally the only reaction I can imagine Luke possibly having in that situation. So there we have it. And the book's done. Thanks for coming, everybody. Oh, no.
Thanks for stopping by.
All right, so this is why I gotta try and figure out. I played around with it for about a half hour today, and I had the book at different angles and the camera at different angles, but my tripod's only like, I think, a 6-inch tripod that came with my camera, so it's not really. If I had a longer one that I could extend and put over it more, I think it would be better. But this is what we got, so this is what we're working with. I'll try and make it better for you. Okay, so we have.
Oh, there we go.
Let's see, I can't see. Bridge Damage, version 18 by Rodolfo DiMaggio. I guess that's this picture right here that we have.
On the right or on the left?
Oh, wait, no, where is that? What are we doing here?
Right with Leia.
This one.
Yeah, right there.
Yeah, Bridge Damage. So, Delilah, come here.
That'd be the Radis.
Yeah, that would be the res.
I believe so. I gotta fool around this a little bit because the way I got set up. So
I think it's kind of cool that they included the hologram in the concept art as well there.
Oh, absolutely.
Because that ended up making the final cut into the movie as well.
Oh, they have Leia here. All right, it's on the middle of the page. So Cave Close-Up version number 5, and this is by Justin Sweet. I think that's probably the best you're going to get for that one. That's how I was trying to get it for the book, but I don't have a stand or anything I can do, because anything I tried to use as a base kept me from turning the pages. So, yeah. We got Kylo Customs in here.
He's listening at work.
All right, you can't watch, but listen so you can hang out with us and chat with us, and then when you go home, not on your drive home, I wouldn't suggest it, but just throw on the YouTube and do it at double speed to catch up on the pictures, or fast forward it, because it was an hour reading and about 10 pictures, so hopefully it goes a lot quicker this next little bit here. But then we have I can't even see, the Mirror Reflection version 1 by Sweet.
That upper left?
No, this lower one.
Okay.
This is the Cave Reflection. Okay, and we saw that one. This is all right. Listen, it's my first time. I'm a little nervous. Okay.
No, you're good.
God, you guys are not as on my sick-minded as me. But there we got Leia, the float. We already saw that one, and
down just a hair. Yeah, right there. Right there.
Oh, then I can't read it. I got to get in position. If you guys saw how I'm standing right now, you would fucking laugh. Like Chewie, we had a tremendous success because the guys at the archive found original Stuart Freeborn Yoda mold midway down through a crate. There was this wooden box that clearly was made by Stuart. He's even gone to the effort of staining it, and it had a little hinge in the back where it would open up, and there was this very delicate little plaster mold. My God, this is it, Neil Scanlon. All right, and then I'm going to let you just look at that for a second. The next picture is a cave wall version 3. The mirror cave was one of the first things we talked about. You'll notice Rey's reflection isn't a true reflection. It flopped, so it is almost like that was another her. There are obviously representations of good and evil. Seeing Rey either in the past or in the future. James Klein. And here is the picture.
Oh, that's gorgeous. That there is pretty.
That's Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
That is Ben Kenobi if I've ever seen him.
I mean, that's you got the dark side Rey and the light side Rey, like it said, but that's Obi-Wan there.
It's Obi-Wan on one side, and is that Kylo on the other side?
Oh yeah, I didn't even see that looking I can see half the picture right now, and then I'm looking at it on camera on the screen, so I'm a little bit off. But yeah, so you guys, I need your help. You got to help me out with this. So, and then we got Klein's signature down there on the corner. So
gotta have that Klein signature.
Yeah, man. I wish he would draw some art for me. I'm gonna text him and be like, listen, dude, I'm gonna hit him up on Twitter. I'm gonna find him and be like, draw me a picture of a Bacta tank, please.
Or just shoot Venomous a message. He can probably draw you something.
I don't know who Venomous is.
Oh, he does like really great artwork for a couple different Star Wars publications.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I'm just looking for, the stuff I got from Chris Hall is amazing. From Black Sheep Rebellion, and he's on the Scruffy Podcasters podcast. But I'm just looking for anybody who wants to make some artwork. I'll put it, I'll put it up. I'll talk about it, and that's just what I'm looking for. So, you can never have enough. But here we go. We have up here on top. We have Kylo's Bedchamber version 3. I don't know if you can really see that.
Yeah,
that well. I also have my, I'm not on screen right now, so I have my screen really dark so that my glasses don't reflect in it. But
Yeah, it always drives me nuts when mine do.
So, well, no, my screen was all the way down, so I'm thinking it's really, really dark, and you guys actually have quite a bit of light. Look through, because I mean, I have it at a regular one right now, and it's about halfway. So, okay, yeah, that's much better now. But yeah, so you can see Kylo in there. So yeah, if anybody's having problems seeing these pictures, turn your screen up. But then we have another Kylo's bed chamber, version 6. That is where you have Luke on top of him. And then we have, I'm going to have to do it like this to give you guys a good
that
picture.
momentary bad decision he makes.
Yep. Because he is, dude, this is fucking crazy. I was about to say, because he's fallible just like all of us. And the first thing it says is, Luke is very fallible. So my exact thought was exactly what it says in here. So I don't know if it's from Rian Johnson interviews that I'm thinking that's the first thing that came to my mind, but that's one of those strange things.
That sounds right. Yeah, from Ryan.
Yeah, but I'm saying my initial thought was exactly what was written here. So that's exactly what I said, and that's kind of freaky. But me and Rian Johnson share a brain, maybe. Well, he's actually talented. But Luke is very fallible. Absolutely, he has got a lot of guilt. He is covering up, and that will do funny things to you, Rian Johnson. So that's your picture.
I was in spots in my past not too very long ago like that, as I'm sure we all were.
Yep.
Oh, I mean, who hasn't made the bad decision here or there and, feels guilty about it? But
and going back to that scene,
that's why that's Luke Skywalker.
But yeah, going back to that scene, after now seeing the rise of Skywalker, it almost makes you realize that even with all that guilt and stuff inside of him, Luke was technically being manipulated by Palpatine as well.
Yes.
Oh, agreed. Yeah.
It's something that you think, he watched Palpatine die, so he figured, he was just gone. Nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
I think Luke understands that it is not about what he wants. It is not about what he gains. It is frankly about what everybody else gained. Sometimes you have to be the one that carries the burden and becomes that vessel. These aren't characters that go and get married. They don't get over the scare. Frodo from The Lord of the Rings carries the ring to the Mount Doom, and the rest of his life is plagued with fear. On certain days, he remembers those pains because he has to carry that burden. And Frodo has no peace until he leaves that world. Luke is that character. Dave Filoni from the May 21st, 2014 Intellectual Property Development Group meeting. So that's where we're up to. And then let's see if I can sit back down, not be bent over, being taken advantage of by the Invisible Man. Oh, if anybody's seen the Invisible Man, that's a pretty good movie. I don't know if anyone's watched it. I enjoyed it immensely. It was not what I thought it was going to be at all.
I had a couple different iterations. Which year was the one that you watched?
It just came out. I think
it's only a couple weeks ago, something like that.
Yeah, I think it might have been in the theater for a very short run, and
before they closed down.
Yeah, and you might be able to buy it somewhere, but
I think that might have been one of the ones you can actually rent now.
Yeah, that's
not out. It's just rentable.
Yeah, I think you can. I think you can rent it or buy it, but yeah, we'll leave it at that. Yeah, I rented or bought it or something. That's how I saw it. But no eye patch over here for me. I know some people get really upset about that, but I'll make up for it. So we have over here. Try and get the best picture I can for you. Let it focus.
Storyboard art.
I'm trying to get this.
That storyboard art.
Yeah, Kylo's. You can kind of see it. It's a dirty sketch, so it's not really that good. But Kylo fingers
That's
twitch,
totally
rack push find. It's showing the way the camera goes. It's all one shot. As Saber comes, Snoke. It's just written in scribbles. Snoke comes. 'Twas him. All one shot. Rey catches it. All one shot. She comes up into the shot, and Snoke's body falls in half. All one shot. Rey up into cut. So I don't know how that is for you, but
Yep, that's how storyboard art it works. That's how they tell it. Yeah, and it's kind of rough scribbles.
Yeah, but I'm trying to bring you, the best picture I can, and it's, I just wish it was better, but I don't have the capabilities to do that. So it is what it is, people.
I got it.
Subscribe to the Patreon. Subscribe to the Patreon. Get me a better camera. I don't know what to tell you. That's all it takes is $1 a month, and I have that book that's coming out. That's going to be Patreon only. There was only 238,000 of them made. It was a Kickstarter. Myself and my buddy Andy, I got Andy in on the deal from Holochronicles. So he's got a book coming.
Here, yeah.
He's got a book coming also. So maybe I can talk to him about doing, because we're gonna do it on Patreon, but he's gonna be the only person I know with a book. So maybe I can talk to him about doing something like this for the Patreon feed.
I'll
we'll make him.
I'm a patron.
You can.
Yep.
Okay, and then we have up here this
Oh, that's the throne room curtain burning.
Okay, there's.
Oh no, the top picture. Gotcha. The top.
It's not focusing very well because it's kind of blurry in the camera, but on in the book it's pretty much it's still drawn, but it's a lot cleaner in the picture. But I can't. Let's see if I move it back here, if I can see.
That works.
Back-to-back fight version, all that for 2 sentences. Back-to-back fight version, and that art that I showed you, the sketch art, is Mega Destroyer Showdown, page 78. So I don't know if that is page 78 of the sketches or page 78 in the book, but I guess we'll find out. And the top picture is Jenkins, and this bottom one is David Alcock and Martin Asbury. And then we're going to go to, see, this is an awesome picture.
Script.
This is an awesome picture right here.
Yeah.
If you could see it.
Yep, right there. Right there.
It kind of reminds me of the shot they ended up using for when Hux comes in at the very end.
I'm trying to get it without.
And he sees that Snoke's body is there. Yeah, that's what it kind of reminds me of, that shot.
See, I should set up my backdrop and my camera and my lights and everything, but that would just really be overkill because it would probably be the same thing because I don't have a stand for those. Oh, I wonder if I use my lights. All right, anyways, all right, back to the book. Snoke Death Version 3. Ryan wanted to reveal where we really are through the course of the fight. So a lightsaber touches the curtains, and the curtains go up in flames. After the battle, the audience sees the surface of the Mega Destroyer. I'm reading right now through my tripod, so my tripod leg, so give me a second. It's a very theatrical reveal that this transition from that very important scene between Rey, Snoke, and Kylo, the curtains burning away, leaving just the 2 of them, Jenkins. So yeah, that's what's awesome about it. It's like so many of these pictures, like this picture right now, that could be like a poster or something like that, or if you're one of those people that likes pictures, I would frame this, even a small 4x6 or whatever the hell size they are, a small 4x6, and have it sitting there with all the bunch of other pictures and posters and everything like that. Because that's a really sweet picture, and this is going to be going on forever because. I can do a poll, and you guys, after this book, we can pick other books to go through, or, once I get the, that's pretty much my my budget for a couple weeks or a couple months of, if I get the first edition or the first book, The Art of, unless I buy it, unless I can see it firsthand and know what I'm getting, it's kind of a crapshoot when you're buying something like that and spending that kind of money on it. But anyways, all right, so here we go. I'll show you this picture right here. Try and get it focused and get in there good. I can't read what it is right now, but take a look at the picture. And you got it. Is that the Holo maneuver?
That might be the first edition of the Holdo maneuver. Yeah, that's got to be.
I mean, I can't. The way I have everything set up right now, I can't read it.
Yeah, I think it's got to be because that shot or just the stuff to the bottom left of that, the storyboards is showing the Holdo maneuver there too. So it must be what that is.
So we got that picture at the bottom too.
That, and I'm seeing the fleet of Resurgent class Star Destroyers off to the right in that photograph.
Okay, well, let's see what we got here. That top picture that I showed you, this one right here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to see if I can get it in there at all for you to see. When he saw the early art, Ryan said, "No, that's an explosion. It should be like a knife cutting through butter. Doing these paintings is my way of teasing the answer out of Ryan in more detail. You realize that he has such a specific image in his mind. You have to find it." Jenkins. So that was his first. This one's the first one for the Holo maneuver. And then these pictures on the side, the same sketch art. I'll try and get good view for you in there.
Yeah, right there. Just when you read like slicing a knife through butter, yeah, that's immediately what I took from.
So that's Backhide, Mega Destroyer. Rift appears silent. Scene 210. Behind Mega D, it spreads. 3 Star Destroyers taken out. Scene 210. Top Shot, silent spreads. Star Destroyer and First Drift silent laser-like.
Yeah, that's pretty much the silent Holdo maneuver in storyboard form. Yep.
Okay, and then this bottom picture, I think I should be able to get it for you to read. This is Kylo seeing the results of a coup de grace, busting up the Mega Destroyer in production concept art. I've skipped right over the visual effects of the cruiser splitting through the middle of the Mega Destroyer because it's such a specific thing that ILM and Ryan have figured out. It's a beat we didn't need to imagine ourselves. Rick Hendricks. So, and there's more, and there. Actually, it's what it is. So, all right, I'll get it. Trying to get this picture close up for you.
Looks like that's the moment Luke's walking into the control room there.
Yeah, you can see him kind of in the back there.
Yep, that's the base on crate. Yep.
If you guys need me to move these pictures around anyway, let me know, because
that looks good.
Yeah,
I'm sitting at my dining room table, and I have books and boxes up to my chin. So that's what, and my tripod on top of it. That's what I showed you guys earlier. That's what I'm reading off of. So those are all, and those are big books too. So I mean, that's big. It's all stacked up from however my waist is to my chin. So that's, the things I do for my friends.
Improvise, adapt, and overcome.
Yes, sir. This is the way. So it is Office Hallway version 4, Enstrom. And then we have on the bottom here, this takes up a little bit of that other page too. Let's see what we're supposed to be seeing here. Oh, all right. You got Luke at the bottom here. That's I think the big thing of this picture. But you got Luke at the bottom, and it's just showing you the massive size of the doors.
Yeah.
Third act battle version, Klein. So, I mean, they were massive. We know that from the movie. In this case, size does matter. Okay, and here we go. We got Luke coming out, looking at. I mean, there's no way he's going to survive that. It doesn't matter how strong of a Jedi you are. You're done. You know, even if I don't even think a Jedi with his lightsaber would be able to, like, in real life, and by real life I mean like if he was really there, and there was only one of those guerrilla walkers, would be able to defend with his lightsaber the blast just because it was so big. He'd have to do what Kylo did, and you know, now Kylo can stop the blasts. You know, but can he do it with something so strong and so much energy as one of those? So, but it doesn't really matter because he wasn't there, which I didn't catch on to at first. I know a lot of people did. He looked younger, he did this and that, but I was in such awe of the fact that he was there that I didn't catch on to anything. Then, of course, the second viewing, you caught more, and the third and the fourth and whatever, because I think that one I saw 5 times in the theater, and probably about 20 times at home before it came out. I mean, you know, whatever. It doesn't. It's not. Yeah. You know, it is what it is. So this is the. Oh, I should be able to show you why I read it. Ryan loved the McQuarrie painting from The Empire Strikes Back of the Probot with the sun going down. Probot on ice planet from mid-1978. He also loved the creators in the paint, the colors in the painting, so we painted off that a bit. Those are kind of the colors of my, it's a little darker, but the colors of my my new artwork that Chris Hall did for me. The network one with the oranges. The box tank's purple, but anyways. So all right, here we go. Oh, that's for you to see. Try and get the good picture in there.
Yep, right there is good.
Okay. Luke Emergent Version 3. We're using color very bluntly in the Star Wars films, like they did in the 1970s and 80s. The carbon freezing chamber from The Empire Strikes Back was an incredible, colorful, and memorable set. It screams at you, and we wanted to do that with Snoke's throne room and with Crate. We wanted you to remember both settings, so we painted them red. Jenkins. And then the next picture we have over, well, I'll show you the picture before I read it to you. Bam!
2-page spread. Wow.
Get that all in there for you.
Do you think you got it?
Yeah, that was my very same thoughts, Patrick. Yeah, that's the very end of that scene. Yeah.
So that's that's the whole picture
that would
there.
Be some gorgeous wall art too, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
I'd hang that on my wall.
That's all the gifts too in that bag, in that box. All presents to go to people. I have that one from that contest, Hunting the Boo Boo, going out on Friday. Well, it depends. Yeah, we're doing an experiment to see how the shipping goes, because to ship that in a regular box with the packing and everything ends up making it too heavy. So it goes up to the next weight class. So just to ship that box, if I put I'll show you real quick because this is very book related. Well, you know, whatever. We do what we want here. This thing. So this box, if I just ship this box and I tape it up real well, that's how I got the one, and it came through really well. But we're gonna try and send a couple just to see if it normally does. Comes through, because if I can ship it like that, it's only $4.99 or $5. I don't know. Kylo would know better how much the cheap sending is. But like the one I sent to Andy cost me whatever the next one is for. It's like anything over 13 ounces ends up being like $12, and it's like 13. It's like 13 ounces to like 3 pounds. And it was, you know, just. I mean, I'm not complaining. Well, I am complaining, but it's not. I'm not complaining about Andy. It's, you know, shipping. It was my own fault. I could. She's like, well, you can take it and repack it, and I was like, it's not worth my time to carry it to work, bring it home, repack it, bring it back to save $6 or whatever if it was all the time thing. But anyways, I'm going off on a tangent here.
As you
another little sizzle for Anthony. We wanted to take a very simple, drastic idea and blow it up a ridiculous, huge scale. So if a single figure in Luke Skywalker going out to face down the army, that was the cleanest visual version of that possible. Flat plane line of armored beast and one man standing in the middle of the plane in front of a big ass door that he's protecting. Laughs. Okay, I get it, Johnson. Yeah, and they use that in the film, Big Ass Door, I believe, right? That's the first time they've.
Yep.
I think that is the first canon name of that door. Yes.
Let me take a look here while you stare at my. I'm going to show you my buddy Ben Thomas. When his wedding to our friend Amy. I was there when they met. I'm kind of responsible for them to get together. Not really at all. I was just kind of there at the time. This was the centerpiece for. It had flowers and everything out. You can see that it's kind of decorated. I kind of ruined everything, and I had to make the light go away. So my girlfriend came out. She's like, "What the fuck are you doing?" But
making magic happen for you two.
Yeah, dude.
I'm doing.
Making magic, making my friends happy, making myself happy, so I can go watch a movie and spend time and not die from viruses, and then go to work and make people happy and make people safe, and hopefully they don't die from viruses either, and then come home and do it all again tomorrow, and hopefully make a little bit of money.
That ain't redwood, is it?
I actually, he had one coat of lacquer on it, but I wanted to keep it. They were just throwing them out. He did it like, as a quick, nice looking thing. I mean, it looked completely different because it was brand new, fresh wood, just with a coat of lacquer over it, or whatever it was. But I actually sanded it down and put a bunch of coats on it, so it's smooth. There's no scratching on anything. I can take it on my table and not worry about anything. I can. I mean, obviously, if you rubbed like a wool sweater, cashmere sweater on here, you'd probably get something. But other than that, I mean, I run the book across of it, and it's fine. There's nothing going on. So. I put a lot of hours of work just to make it nice, just for a nice little, it's a memory and a nice little thing. So yeah, that's.
No, it just had a reddish tint to it. Made me wonder if it was redwood.
No, I don't know what it was. It came from someone's backyard in North Carolina.
Well, then it's probably pine. It looks like pine to me because I'm from North Carolina.
Okay, in the Raleigh area. Oh, that's right, you are. Where in North Carolina are you again?
I'm down near the coast.
Okay. I lived in Raleigh for about 10 years.
No redwoods to be found in the east.
It's more than likely going to be a pine tree or like some form of like spruce or something.
Yeah, it was.
It's got a pine texture, even though I can tell it's been lacquered. It's probably more than likely pine.
Woman, where did you go? Is there any story behind Ben's centerpiece? Okay, yeah, there's no story. He just, something. Oh, Ben cut the tree down. Amy made them. So
yeah,
that's the story, we think. And then I brought it home, and myself and my girlfriend sanded it down. I give her all the credit because she is wonderful and puts up with me. Hey, I admitted it in front of everyone in the world. So 8 billion people, if they want to, can hear me witness that to you. I don't know what she just yelled at me, but she went in the other room. I was looking to see how much more is in this today. Oh, all right, because we're almost done, I think, for today. But I'll get out of that picture. I mean, I would keep going all day long, but I got, even though everybody else is on lockdown, I still have things I got to do and get ready for tomorrow and do laundry and whatnot, so I can go to work. That was one thing I didn't understand. They were trying to decide if they were going to make laundromats essential or not. I live in New York City. I don't have a washing machine. So if you didn't make laundromats essential, even if it was just drop-off service, what am I supposed to do when I leave the house? I need clean clothes. Like, I mean, I understand that every city is different. You go to most other cities and they have laundromats, or their apartment complexes have washers and dryers in their buildings or whatever, but I ain't got shit, dude. I carried it over to the lady and she washes it and folds it for me and brings it back, or I bring it back. But yeah, anyway,
the folks making them decisions don't understand that. They don't have to deal with it.
Well, I was at work and I was listening to the press conference that Cuomo gave. I mean, this was a couple weeks ago, and somebody asked him, and I'm not going to say verbatim but this is pretty much what they said. They said, so with people having to be home and work from home, what about something like Geek Squad? Is that going to be open? And he said, I don't know. We have a team researching those things right now. I don't know what Geek Squad is.
So out of touch, man. So out of touch.
So it's like,
yeah.
All right. Like, I mean, it's true. If like, I tried to, my laptop that I got, everyone knows I got the brand new computer, knows the story behind that. But I got, the pretty much a kick-ass laptop, top of the line. But to save $1,000, I only got 16 gigs of RAM in it instead of the 64, because I can buy the RAM for an upgrade for $300 and put it in. So it's going to end up saving me $300 or $700 total on the computer.
Extra labor.
Well, no, because I bought when I got it from Best Buy, I got their warranty for everything. So if I spill a drink on there, they fix it.
Yeah, definitely.
Cost me a dime. And then their other warranty that so if I want to upgrade it, they fix it for me. So I just I have to buy the memory, take them the memory, and they'll put the memory in there. When hopefully I don't have a touch screen, I want to get a 4K touch screen. It's going to cost me, I think, like $500 or $600. It was another $1,500 to get the 4K touch screen, but I can buy one for a third of that and have it installed by them for free because I've got whatever that package is. But it's all, the 4K would be nice. I just really need a touch screen because it just makes things so much easier with editing, and I don't have good editing programs because I don't know how to do anything and teach myself as I go, but don't have time to learn the proper way. So it's just instead of sitting down and not doing things for whatever, you understand. That's all right. Anyways, to get back to this book, we got this picture here, trying to get a good view of it. What we got?
Good. That's good.
You got that?
Yep.
All right, and that picture is Force Fight version 1. Rick and I discussed Kylo pushing Luke back and having all the red earth ripped up as Luke is thrown back, and Luke would then push back against Kylo with shards of rock upending. But what Ryan had in his head was more of this standoff. Luke standing there and taunting Kylo. Ryan was very specific about the samurai stance that Kylo took. Klein. And then we got the sketches here.
Mm-hmm.
See, that's what if I had a 4K camera, and even if you don't have a 4K screen, if I have a 4K camera, it's going to still be better on your 1080 screen. Just like if you have Disney Plus and you're watching anything right now, watch it in 4K, even if you don't have a 4K TV, because it's still much better quality coming through my 1080 than if I watch just the 1080 movie. Just in case you want to know. I'm just checking the chat real quick.
It's been rather slow.
Yeah.
And quiet.
Yeah, the viewers seem to be popping in and out. They come in for a couple, it ranges between 5 and 6 and 10 and 12. It just goes up. It keeps going up and down. I think people are just hopping in there. But you know what? This is for my friends and then whoever else wants to watch. So let's get me to that 1,000. I need 1,000 people so I can walk around with my camera and show everybody how dead the streets of New York are, I guess, now, because I don't know what's going to happen with Celebration. But gives me a little bit more time. That was the
trendy thing right now is to go walk around the streets of whatever city you live in. It's like, oh, look how empty it is.
Yeah. And it's like, no, I go to work, man. I got people standing on top of me on the subway still. It doesn't, there's no social distancing here. I was talking about it last night. They have 1,500 MTA workers, which is our bus and train service, out of work right now. Either for the virus or fear the virus, or if people don't want to go to work, they don't have to. They're letting them stay home, but you're just not getting paid and getting unemployment. But people are. It depends what you're saying. So like my train that usually runs every 6 minutes is running every 15 to 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And then the trains that run every 15 to 20 minutes are running every 40 minutes or every hour.
Yep.
So
Everything's being scaled back. Yep.
when I'm, normally when I go to work, it takes me 12 minutes on the train to get to work, which is nothing in New York City. So, I mean, I can leave if I have to work if I had to work right now, I could be to work by 3:15 if I left my house right now. And that's my trip to New York City. Maybe 3:20. I should have probably left 5 minutes ago. But now with, I'm only working 4 miles from work, but taking the train there with the way it's running, it's taking me an hour and a half on average. So it's just got to put that time in there and figure it out. I can take the one train, and it only takes me 20 minutes on the train, but then I got to walk 10 or 15 minutes once I get off the train. Or I take the other train, and it takes an extra 10 minutes, but it lets me off right at the front door. But I then have to wait for 2 trains, which can be almost an hour waiting depending on the day. So, anyways, all right, let's get back to this because we need to finish this up. All right, so here's our picture we see. We got Luke standing there and Kylo. Standoff version 5B. The idea that when Luke and Kylo are having their final showdown, it starts to snow, salt, and the landscape is restored to white again by the end of the scene. That was the final piece of the puzzle. Purely visual ideas happen sometimes, laughs Johnson. And this one, we gotta show you guys this. In the top corner, we have the standoff, then they're going in the middle. Kind of hard to tell what that one is for me. But then just different versions of them standing around for the standoff. Just standoff sketches by Sweet. And over here, we got this page. We got Kylo right there. This guy looks like a matte painting, just kind of loose, quick drawing. And that's got to be sweet, dude. I mean, just to sit there and, be creative enough and skilled enough that you can draw something like that. I just think that's amazing. But everybody's got their talent. Who knows? People probably think like, how can you make this dish, or how can you pair, these wines together, or do whatever. And it's like, everybody's got a specific set of skills.
And try to do it on something based on what Ryan is what in Ryan Johnson's imagination, and try to match that as a picture.
What I'm saying is it would be a stick figure if I drew it. If Ryan Johnson was like, I need you to draw me a picture, it'd look like a blob. Like I would never be able to do anything like that, but so then we got this picture up here. I'm trying to get it good for you. You can see Luke standing down there.
Vantage point from behind Kylo Ren facing his former master, uncle.
I'm just trying to get it in focus there, whatever angle I can. I mean, it's a pretty clear picture, so it's just the camera's not focusing at the right distance on it. But yeah, it's much. I had that one shot. Oh, there we go.
Looks good on my screen.
Went out of focus, but
same as the one beneath it. They both look.
Battlefield Crater by Klein and DiMaggio. Luke going to do what he needs to do to save his friends, but he's not going to travel across the universe to be there physically. It's an amazing display of the Force, and last thing that he does before his death. I don't know how the audience is going to react, because obviously there will be people who want a full-blown Kylo and Luke go at it kind of thing. But that would contradict everything Luke believes in. Star Wars doesn't always have to end in some badass sword fight. Klein. And that's pretty much right on. I know I would have liked to see a badass sword fight, the sword fight, the lightsaber fight, the light sword fight to end all saber fights. But what they gave us is true to the Jedi, not the Jedi that we know from the movies, but the Jedi how they should have been for thousands of years. I mean, one of the favorite Jedis of most people, or most well known, is Mace Windu, but he had the most hubris of pretty much any of the Jedi, and he's the epitome of what the Jedi became, which they shouldn't have been, in my not so humble opinion. So let's see if we can get this picture in here.
What I liked about this particular fight, that it was a fight without having been fought, really. Something we've never seen before.
Well, yeah, that's the whole thing. Luke Skywalker did the most Jedi thing a Jedi could do, and win by not fighting. It's like I equate it to, the monks, the Buddhist monks. They're not going to fight you. They're going to do everything in their power not to fight you. But you touch them, they're going to destroy you. Or like Mr. Miyagi. Mr. Miyagi was a Jedi. And if you think about it, the same way. He didn't fight. He wouldn't fight, but if he had to, he would defend himself. And by lifting one finger, he's going to put you on your ass and destroy you. But the proper amount that needs to happen. Just using Mr. Miyagi again, he could have killed all those guys, Johnny and the crew, the Cobra Kai, when they jumped Daniel on the other side of the fence. But what did he do? He stopped them. He got them to stop moving or doing whatever, so that he did what he needed to do. But all right,
yeah,
so
my version of that growing up as a kid was watching David Carradine play Kung Fu. It was the same way. It was all peaceful, but if something needed to be done in that moment, it got taken care of, and then that was the end of it. It didn't carry on and on and on.
So here we go. Get a good picture of that. It's like, all right, so that's what we got. It is Kylo Destroys Room version 2.
Oh, this is after they've escaped. Okay.
Yeah.
It didn't end up in the story, but still, I love seeing stuff like that. It wasn't part of the story, but could have been. That's really interesting.
Okay, so and that's gonna do it for today, because the next time we get into the costume department and we start seeing all their quick little peek for you guys here. Oh, you guys can't see anything. Quick little peek. We got some clothes and some. Well, here I skipped all that, but we got the girls. How the girls start out, and then we go to the boys, and then we go to the men. And then we go to, we got girls and boys. We need protection for the girls and boys, so we don't have force babies. Which Rey is now pregnant because Ben Solo forced a baby inside of her. Whether or not it's him or it's just his little swimmers in there, we don't know yet. But we got these. But that's more talk for the box tank, where we just let it all out and get tanked together.
Never did think about that. She did touch her stomach, so.
No.
Is that something they left open for episode 10? I guess we'll never know.
This is I've talked about it a few times with the box tank. I kind of went into detail, and we talked about it. I had Casey from Talking Sith and Rural Farm Boy in there, and my buddy Ian was in there, and Reaper Girl 27. I don't even who else was in there. We had a couple more people in there, and my theory that when he put his hand on her womb, he gave her a forced baby. So when she buried those lightsabers, that's how we're going to get episode 10.
It's exactly how we're going to get episode 10 if it's going to happen.
That's
her
where
kid. They did the talking and I did the listening.
Think about it. It's not. I think it was. I don't remember which of the girls it was from Girls with Sabers, and I said he forced a baby into her, and I don't mean like I say it kind of as a joke, but I don't mean like he forced, like he raped her, like forced unwillingly, but like through the force, he used the Force to create life inside of her. They both decided to do it willingly and have a Force baby.
That was
and
Miss Demarest.
And she was like, saying Force though doesn't sound right. It sounds like you're saying that, like not Force like that, but Force like use the Force. But I kind of say it as I'm not the most politically correct person sometimes, but I don't have any malice involved. It comes up from, Rural Farm Boy was a little bit older in the 80s, but it comes up with me growing up in my formative years with George Carlin and Eddie Murphy and Andrew Dice Clay and things like that. So, they're jokes. There's no malice involved or harm involved. When you look back at them, it probably wasn't the best thing to say or to do, but, it was just more of a, hey, how you doing? But, yeah. So, anyways, I don't know what the hell we're talking about now. So,
an episode of Star Wars Show just dropped, guys. Just let you know. So you got more content you guys can go check out after this.
Oh, well, thank you. And Patrick, you are always invited. You're always invited to hop on. Everybody, pretty much everybody's invited. If I haven't had anyone that's come on here yet that, I didn't want to be on here. Not that I didn't want to, but like that was on here. But that's, and it was just somebody that went around trolling me and trolling in there. But and I don't know what it's doing now. The computer's going crazy because I didn't touch the thing.
You're good. Rural's frozen, so he must have lost his signal. He'll be back hopefully.
Maybe. Yeah, that's what it was. But all right, so I don't know what I have going on for the rest of the day. Are you working still, or are you off?
I'm currently still working. I won't say I'm working for one of America's biggest corporations right now. So they're keeping us still employed and busy, and we're considered essential personnel. So luckily I have the day off today, but I am going back tomorrow. I'm
pretty sure I have an idea. It's coming back to me slowly, or a little bit, I believe. But well, I mean, you are essential because, for what you do, I think you're essential. Now, for me, I'm not essential. I'm convenient.
Just convenient, yeah. And that's what's really pulling everything together right now is what jobs can you get away with right now that are convenient, that are actually still going to be able to help everything right now. So,
yeah, I mean, me, I work hospitality. So, I'm not a necessity. I'm a convenience for people. Now for like first responders, things like that, I'm a necessity because
absolutely necessity.
Well, no, they're a necessity. I'm a necessity for them because I help them out so they can get, supplies and food and things like that. Yeah. But for the general public, no, go home and take care of yourself. I don't need to
go home, stay away. Yeah.
Yeah. But it doesn't work like that. And it's keeping me employed for right now. I like I was saying earlier, my shop is, but the place I work, we're not doing weekends anymore, and we cut our hours. So it's basically a half day. And I can either work 1 or 2 days a week and work 10 hours a week. Or I can go somewhere else and work and get hours. So it's just, I'm in the process of, it's a bunch of stuff going on that I don't need to get into right now, but just switching in between the two. And next week it should be all set. It's just this week it's nice because I have time. And I'm looking forward to not working the rest of the week while I work tomorrow for a short shift. I think 10 to 4, 10 to 5. But other than that, I have the rest of the week off. But I'm going to try and work because it'd be nice to have the money and work as much as I can. I'll work open and close those 3 days and make as much money as I can because the government might say, in a week or two, no, you guys aren't essential anymore, or this or that, and we'll see what happens. So, until I have to go on unemployment and they won't let me work, I'm going to work as much as possible.
Yep, and they're going to keep you guys open as long as they can. So.
Yep.
Not much you can do about that, but you're just kind of playing it by ear, and I'm with you. As long as we can keep working, we might as well keep working.
Yeah, and I'm you know, it's just funny, the politics now. I posted a meme, you know, the guy pushing the buttons and he's all sweating or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, I forget what that was, but you'll get the gist. It was like, destroy socialism, and then the other button's like, can't wait for my check.
Can't wait for my check.
You know, it's kind of like, so, you know, I'm kind of on the other side of the scale. I'm a little bit more conservative than most of my friends and people, and on here. But you know what? We need a check. A lot of people need a check. Now, there's a lot of people that don't need a check. I don't need a check because I'm working. But that check, it's going to be used for something that I need. So it's going to go to pay rent because I don't know what's going to happen next month. So instead of going out and, you know, I was joking that we do need Geek Squad and Best Buy open, because when I get my check, how am I going to buy a fucking TV if I have no place to buy it from?
Yeah, exactly.
You know?
You got to get through Amazon and then ship it to your house and then find out it's broken and send it back. So
yeah, you know, but yeah, you know, it's just kind of like that. So, you know, we'll see what happens. I mean, mine's going to go to. I already have it planned out. When it comes and if it comes, what it's going to be. Rural Farm Boy said he just got cut out. Well, I didn't cut you out.
Yeah, no, just cut you out. So hopefully you can get back in here.
We're just about finishing up, but we'll let you come in here for a second. That should be it. He sounds angry too. At the TooMedToo Star Wars Network, StreamYard just cut me out. Like,
well, sorry. StreamYard has issues too, so
yeah. At least YouTube's working, but
so I just think it's really cool that everybody's using StreamYard now too. Because I remember, like, back in the day, it was like so complicated to do something like this, and now you can.
Well, that was I've told this story a lot with people that come on, but I started the channel a couple years ago to meet Star Wars friends and online friends and whatever. I didn't think I was actually going to get like personal real life friends. And I had the channel for about 2 weeks and didn't know what the hell I was doing, and just putting out crap videos that were just like completely stupid. And then I look at them, I'm like, dude, that's horrible. Like, what was I even doing? I wasn't even talking about anything. And what I was talking about, I was just reading shit and giving my opinion, which I still didn't know anything about. But it was like I think I started on January 30th. And my birthday is February 16th. And on my birthday, I got a message from somebody on Twitter. Hey, I saw your video. I really liked it. A bunch of us podcasters are getting together. You want to come meet us? I had never listened to a podcast in my life. I had watched a few of the big channels on YouTube, and like Urban Acolyte, Hello Greedo, you know, like some of the big like main staples or whatever, you know, the first people I was listening to. And, you know, there was Mike 02, and I was like, if this jack off can fucking make videos, I can at least make something, because I can at least make sense, you know, in that.
Exactly.
Which, I mean, you know, the hate sells and the lies and rumors sell, and I think a lot of people just watch him because he's funny. Or it's just like, can you believe that's really happening?
I think that's like, where it's at now. It's nobody's actually like taking it seriously anymore.
Well, because publications were quoting him for movies and using him as a source. But
yeah, which if I ever saw a publication ever using him as a source, like, I instantly stopped using them as a source, because
yeah, it was they were YouTube ones though. Or not YouTube ones, but they were like, they'd come up on Google articles, or, you know, Twitter articles or things like that. But so I got this message, hey, Rural Farm Boy's back. But I got this message, and I told my girlfriend, I was like, you know, is it okay if I go? Because it was my, I think the next day was my birthday or whatever it was. And it was just like, is it okay if I go? Because we were going to celebrate. She's like, yeah, go have fun, because, you know, you're a nerd and you want to go hang out with Star Wars people. That's fine. And I went, but I was scared. I was like, I'm like thinking, I'm going to walk into this restaurant and it's going to be a bunch of old sweaties sitting there in the corner, you know, arguing. This is my exact thought, arguing over who shot first. Like, that's the impression I have in my mind. And I walk in, and it's Johnny Grasso and Araj and Mike Pappas, and Gerard, and like all these people. I have no idea who any of them are. You know, I'm being introduced to them, talking to them, and I'm just walking around like an idiot. Like, I'm just starting my channel. What do I do? But like, asking just a million questions, and everyone was nice to me. No one treated me like, who is this crazy guy just coming in here like bothering us? and like I made friendships that way. And so I went from the only podcast I ever listened to was Rogue One, and that was on the subway on the way there. And I was like, oh, these guys actually seem pretty cool. That put my reservations down a little bit. And then, through there, we've, become friends and went to Celebration with them. And I was at Echo Base with them. And Echo Base split up into about 3 now because there was 20 of us, which was just too many people in the house. Even though it slept 20, or I think it said it slept 16 and 20, it was just too many people in the house. So it's split up into about 2 or 3 houses now that we have. So as long as Celebration goes through, it's the same thing going on now. And that's where we are. That's where I am now. And that's I got really lucky because I wanted to make some Star Wars friends, and I started off with my first friends I made were big podcasters and people from Tauswift and whatever. And I went from no one to like these big mega Star Wars people, and now I have people that I'm friends with, that I talk to, like Rural Farm Boy and Mike Pappas and I. We live, even though we're far away from each other, we try and do our streams and videos whenever we can, but we're different. And Rez and Kylo Customs and just people that I would have never met, and all because of wanting to start something, and whatever caught Johnny Grasso's eye for him to send that to me. And now I got Patrick here. I've talked to Patrick a couple times. But
Maybe
hopefully he'll be on a lot more.
I'd like to be back as long as work doesn't interfere.
Well, that's mine too. So it's like I don't really know. I don't want to sit here and plan something for tomorrow because I go to work in the morning, and if they say tomorrow night, hey, you can work tonight too, well, I'm gonna pick up that extra shift and work an extra night and get hopefully some overtime. And I'm not supposed to. I know I said a couple times I'm not supposed to work this weekend and all, but whatever I can, I will. And so I can't really plan on, hey, let's do it right now. It's going to be, I'll find out tomorrow if I'm working Friday or this weekend, and that can still change. They might say no, but I might get called in. So it's, kind of soft reservations, I guess. Soft. I don't know what I'm trying to say here.
You want to make plans, but you don't want to make plans.
Yeah. I want to make plans, but they're not definite. They're not concrete. It's, but if I go off and say that tomorrow at, let's see, I get out of work at 5. So tomorrow at, 8 o'clock, I'm going to do this again at 8 o'clock and put it out there so people have a little bit of notice and watch it. And then I get stuck working. They're going to be like, oh, and then the next time they're like, oh, he says he's going to be here and he's not going to be here. So I'd rather do it a little bit later and have a few less people, a few less friends here than announce it and not be there as much as possible. So that's where we are. So I don't know I don't even know what the rest of the day has for me. I'm going to get off of here and clean up a little bit. This monstrosity I have built up, and see what the boss tells me I can do. And Rebel Scum's at 7 o'clock, and then I'm recording at 10 o'clock to go on some tangents, and we'll see what the rest of the day leads to. Who knows? I might hit up Rural Farm Boy and say, hey, you want to do something from 5 to 6? And we could do this book. We could do the other dictionary. I might just hop on and play some video games. I don't really know right now. My life is a mess, but in a good way, So, yeah.
Wide open on my end, so whatever you want to do, yeah. Say when.
And Patrick, when I go off and just start talking, you can tell me to shut up and be like, dude, you're just rambling on too. So, feel free. Yeah, you have that permission. I made a statement 12 minutes ago, and I'm still talking about it. I don't even remember how it started. So, you have permission when I go off on my things to kind of reel me back in a little bit. Don't feel bad at all.
I'm just glad that you chose me to come, and we've been doing this here. I'd have never dreamt that from a couple of years ago. I can remember Patrick. We was passing messages back and forth on Newsnet Cantina message forums.
Yeah, way back in the day, doing Cantina stuff.
I would have never thought. I'd have never thought that you and me would be sitting here talking in real time right now from back then. Never.
Yep.
Oh, I know who that is. Yeah, as a screen name, but would have never imagined that here we are now doing this. Yeah, I hope we can get to see you and more. Maybe stop by Rebel Scum. They're doing a big long show tonight, 90 minutes.
And my definite one that I haven't missed a week yet is Monday nights at 8:35. It's the Bacta Tank, where whoever wants to come in just comes in, and we just talk about whatever it is. And Whatever presents I got during the week, I open those up, some books or some Funkos or some Black Series or whatever. I got 1 or 2 already for next week. A couple of books lined up, so we got something. I haven't missed a week yet, so and it's gotta be what, since October it started.
Right thereabouts, yeah.
I haven't missed a week yet, and that was with my Advent calendar. So, but I still got some of that stuff in the secret compartment. I need to try and smooth into the regular stream somehow. But I got a plan for that.
If you want to lend a hand, one of our friends is asking for some input on doing an upcoming live stream. He didn't say when yet, and he's looking for input on how he should be going about doing it. Should he be doing it with a topic, or kind of make it open-ended? And I'm speaking to Johnny Orm. He wants to do his own YouTube live chat for my Star Wars Life Deck. He ain't sure about how he wants to go about doing it. So look up his post in the Twitterverse.
Oh, I'll hit him up. I'll hit him up as soon as I get off here.
Yeah, hit him with a suggestion. He weren't getting too many. I put him up and told him, do it open-ended, kind of like what we do, because the conversation can go everywhere, all over the place.
Or like the way I thought it was like you could do it half and half. Like you could have something more formatted, like certain days of the week, and then you could do more open-ended stuff other days of the week.
Yeah, I mean, I could, if I had the time, I could break my showdown into, 3 nights a week or whatever, or whatever it is. I just don't have the time or the schedule, so I have Monday night free, and it's usually ends up being somewhere around 2 hours. But there have been a couple that have been 4 or 5 because people come on and we're just talking, and it could probably go longer, and it's just like, okay, I'm ending this because it's 1 o'clock in the morning. And we started at 8:30. So
it's a free for all. It's always a free for all.
Like this past week though, I had Rachel Alfred, not Alfred, Alfred on. She's Reaper Girl 27. She's doing the Edge of Hope.
Fan fiction, yeah.
It's pretty much the only fan fiction I've ever read that I've really liked, because she is kind of a Raylo, but she's not one of the crazy ones. So she's doing like an actual good story about it. But I had her on. I talked with her for about an hour and a half or 2 hours before, and then other people came on, and then it was like the normal show. So that ended up being like 4.5 hours or whatever it was. But so it's just, I want to talk Star Wars whenever I can, and this is the way to do it. So I think I'm going to end it here. And by the way, yeah, Patrick, I'd love to have you to come on, work and life, whenever you have the chance, because I know the few interactions we've had on Twitter and a lot of the emails or whatever you've sent in, especially there were some amazing ones to Blue Harvest. I think that you would make me a better Star Wars fan just from talking with you.
Yeah, I'd be glad to come back on and chat with you guys. I was just looking at my work schedule. I do have the next 2 Mondays off, so if you guys want to do anything the next 2 Mondays, hit me up. We'll definitely chat.
Yeah. So Monday 8:35. I don't know if you're probably subscribed to me. I'm gonna guess.
I just did. I don't know why I hadn't before. I was like, I'm not subscribed to TooMedToo. What's wrong with me?
So thank you. I appreciate that. There's so many people that say, they're like, oh, I didn't know, because they see me all the time, because if I'm posting it, then Rural Farm Boy's posting it or Rez is posting it. So like people, they see it all the time. So they think they're getting it. They're there, but they're not. But yeah, so
it's just everybody retweeting in the ether.
Yeah. So just plan on next Monday at 8:35. Come to the chat and I'll post it in the chat, and just click on it and you come on.
All right, let's make it happen.
I probably have. We talked about the other day, Rural Farm Boy.
What's that?
Talking with them today, coming on. I'm not sure it's going to be one of them or all 3 or a combination thereof. The first T-shirt I ever bought in the Star Wars universe.
Nice, David and the boys. Nice.
Yes. So there's a very good possibility that we're going to have the Tatooine Sons coming on here.
That's great. You also put an invitation out to David Triana, Followers of the Force, to bring him and Gwendy and Jason on. Getting Gwendy's really hard because she lives out in the Midwest, and she works for NASA, and her work schedule's all over the place. But if you could even just get David and Jason from Followers. Yeah,
I spoke. That was one of those things. I spoke with him briefly, and or a couple of tweets back and forth, and they said, "Hey, let's do it." And I was like, "Okay, well, whenever you have time." Like I don't really schedule people to come on because the only person I've ever scheduled to come on was Dominic Pace, and Rachel. Because I talked to her, I said, "Yeah, come on, and we'll talk about your book, your novel that you're doing." And other than that, it's just everyone has an open invitation. It's a free for all. Come on, and whenever you have a chance, because I try and have a plan of what we're going to start off to talk about, but I just started the first bunch of them. I didn't write anything down, and it was me forgetting. It took me 3 weeks or a month to talk about the comic book I want to talk about because I kept forgetting. So when I get news, I try and put a little note in my phone. But then sometimes I forget to, or think like you thought that you were subscribed to me. I forget about it, and I don't subscribe or don't write the note down. And then we sit here, and the next day, and I sit here listening to somebody's podcast, and I'm like, oh man, I forgot to talk about that, or I didn't even think about that. So it's just kind of it's basically the like you were saying. Oh, I think that's how I went off on my tangent. So I got back. So I started. Well, this is like 45 minutes ago. So I got I got involved with all these guys that were kind of I consider them like heavy hitters, and I'm just this guy that wanted to make friends. And I was putting out content, and I started doing the history of Star Wars. And I was doing it every day, and it was just because I didn't have anyone to help me. I was going through. I'll show you if I can do it without dropping everything. This book right here.
I might need to start taking. I might need to start taking notes for you, Michael, and keeping track of who you're booking.
You might need to.
So you don't forget.
Anthony's your agent.
Yeah, that's what I need.
On top of podcast promoter.
Yeah, so I mean, this one, the Year by Dictionary. But I was going by, so today's April 1st. I would go through every year and look at April 1st and see what there was, and then copy that down, and then talk about it, and then find pictures for it, and then make the video and edit the video and put it on there. And it was taking me probably, without exaggerating, at least 4 hours a day for the majority of them. And that was with working and going to school. And I did that for 2 months, and I was just burnt out. I was like, I can't do this anymore. I can't do YouTube. It's destroyed me. I've been off more than I could chew. And the last half of whenever I did it, April or May, I didn't want to do it anymore. I was done. I just finished it off so I could finish off the month for the people that were actually following and watching it. And I stopped. And then a couple of times I thought about getting back into it. And I was like, yeah, what do I want to do? There's nothing to do. And I went to Celebration, and I came back from Celebration. I was like, I want to talk Star Wars with people. What am I going to do? And I was at a bar with my buddy Ian, who was on last night, and another one of my friends came up and said, I didn't know you had a Star Wars YouTube channel. I love Star Wars. And we started talking about it. I was like, this is what I want. I want it to be like where you just meet your friends at the bar and talk about Star Wars. And it's not really formatted. It's whatever we talk about, we talk about. And then like the next week I found StreamYard, and I was like, this is perfect, because you can't do that with OBS. There was no other really streaming service or anything to use where I could just have people just pop in and out whenever they wanted to. And exactly. I found StreamYard, and I was like, this is perfect. And that's pretty much how it all started. So this is kind of like, the equivalent of meeting at a bar. And that's, so that's my whole life story, Patrick. You got it now. You're probably sorry for asking, but
I'm caught up.
That's the way the story goes.
Yep. Here we are 5 months later.
Yeah, 5 months of me talking about this. That took me forever. So, all right. Anyways, I guess that does it for today. Thank you very much. Gannon, 132, 136.
One more little question.
Yes.
Before you cut the street. Today being the 1st of April, did anybody go and see any pranks that got pulled off?
On what?
Did anybody see any April 1st pranks that got pulled off anywhere? Anybody come across one or no?
I haven't yet.
I did see one. That
I saw one on the Twitterverse. Somebody announcing their guest.
Yeah, Brad.
He announced that it was a secret, that he's had it planned, that he did a 15-minute interview with Adam Driver.
Yeah, Friends of the Force. Yeah, some folks bought that one.
A couple people bought. Well, the first one I saw was Matt from Blue Bantha, and he was like, "Really, you're going to be that guy today? You're going to pull this?" And he was like, "Yep, that's me." And
Yeah.
A couple people were like, "Oh my god, that's awesome! That's cool." I think they got him. I don't know. But
Yeah,
if you
they
click
got
on the
him.
link, it goes to a GoFundMe for
Yep.
the coronavirus.
That was great. That was
So,
great.
but yeah, I think most people right now are kind of like, we're gonna wait and not do April's 1st or April Fool's jokes because
Lots of folks
I,
don't want to meet you.
I mean, if I play one on Danielle right now, I'm stuck with her for the rest of the day in the house. And if I was leaving going to work, that would be a different story. But people are cooped up.
No,
Playing April 1st or April Fool's jokes aren't probably the best ideas. So
She'd be throwing you in
no.
the doghouse.
Yeah, you'd be paying for it.
yeah. But
All right,
all right,
friends.
so I don't know. I probably won't be back on for anything tonight. I'll check out Rebel Scum at 7, and then do a little bit of I go on recording with Dallas Wood for the Bad Motivators Tarkin Tangents tonight. Not sure when that will be on, but recording with him and Miss Emily Lind. And Emily, who's actually my neighbor, New York City neighbor, so she's a couple miles away. So, it would take me less time to walk there than it would to take a cab or mass transportation, because it's so close. But the way that everything works in loops and going around. But
All right, if you can do later, hit me up, and if you can't, then say when the next time. And you're recording, and hopefully see both of you in Rebel Scum chat later on. But for me, back to playlist, turning the radio on right now. I got listening to get done.
all right, Patrick, thank you very much for stopping by. I will hopefully
Thanks
speak
for
to
having
you soon. If I don't speak to you soon, next Monday at some time. In the evening at 8:35 or later.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM before you do it, and we'll make it happen.
Okay.
I'll remind him so he don't forget, because I'm
I
writing
know
it down
Rural
right
will.
now.
Rural's on top of everybody.
He's got to remind it. Anthony, stick around for a second.
Sure.
And all right, everyone, thank you very much for stopping by. I already told you about our friends. Check out the TooMedToo Star Wars Network, because there's the Bacta Tank on every Monday at 8:35 Eastern Standard Time, and then we do the Holocron House whenever we can, where we're going through books that I have and maybe you don't have, or maybe you do have. If you do have, hop on. Even if you don't have, hop on and chat with us. There's the Coruscant Coach's Corner that I do with myself and Michael Pappas whenever we can fit him in. But, he can't even show up half the time for his podcast. So fit him in on mine, doing our channel is, a good feat. And let's see, I don't know if I got anything else in. I play some games and stuff like that. And we got the Patreon. I have my interview with Dominic Pace on the Patreon. And I have one coming out very soon that I did actually a while ago with an author who's into myths and fables.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
So I just got to get that edited and put up, because I'll be honest with you, they're shit. My first interview, I don't know what I'm doing. And I just started interviews, and I was just so excited that I had the one scheduled with Dominic, and then Disney contacted me and said, "Hey, can you do an interview with this guy?" And I said, "Sure," because I'd been trying to get an interview with him, and they just said, "Hey, he's available now." And I did the interview, and I was just so happy and excited, because it's not like talking with you guys where it's just like you're regular people, you're Star Wars fans. I'm talking about it with an actor. I'm talking with an author. I've never done it before. I'm really excited, and probably acting a fool. And with Dominic, I know I had some stuff added out of there because I was just an idiot. So I think it turned out
actually really well. I thought you'd done really well.
Thank you. I might. It's been on there for a couple weeks for my patrons. I might put that on the YouTube when I get a chance, and then do the same thing with our famous author friend who, just doing a little sizzle there. I don't know if you know who it is or not, but you'll find out soon enough if you're a patron. And then, let that sit on there for the patrons for a little while, and then put that on regular YouTube for the masses. Or I might, see, this is the other thing too. It's been so long. I was thinking with his, I might wait. He has another book coming out. And it's supposed to, I forget what it's called, but it's like the Sith version of Myths and Fables. It's like dark stories or horror stories
Let me look it up.
along the same lines. I can't think right now what it is, and honestly, I'm not looking it up right now.
It's Dark Legends. It's coming out in July.
Okay. Well, it's supposed to come out, but we'll see, because, I mean, chances are the book's being printed in China or somewhere else, and those factories
Dr. Aphra got delayed today, so.
Yeah. Like my book that I'm going to do, the Patreon only one, with the Kickstarter, was supposed to come out the beginning of the first quarter. They didn't have an exact date, but it was the beginning of the first quarter, and they're hoping it will be out in the second quarter now. So, that's 4 months, 6 months delayed on that. So who knows what these other books are going to be. And like I was saying in the beginning, some of the Project Luminous books, people are getting notified that they're not going to get them on time. And that's August and October for the books. And they already know they're not going to have them ready. So
if I had to assume, they're just going to do like a fall rush, kind of like they would normally do with, oh God, what's that promotional event they were always doing for the movies every year?
Force Friday?
Force Friday. They do it maybe like a Force Friday sort of deal. I have a feeling they're going to pull something like that off, since there's no movie this year.
Well,
and given the circumstance, so
I don't know. I don't know if they're going to do it like that. If I don't think they'll put everything out at once.
No, they're not going to do it at once. Definitely not.
But instead of being the one book in August and the next one in October, they might be a month apart from it. The duration is going to shrink down when they come out. I think they're going to be a little closer to each other. Because they gotta rethink their plan for when movies are coming out. Like The Mandalorian should be affected because it was already done, and you can edit from your house or go into work and edit from, the Disney Ranch or ILM or wherever you're doing your work from, and be in your own office or cubicle and not have to worry about things like that. But printing of books and comics, and they're already written, they just need to come out. That's what's going to be the hindrance there. But all right, so see, Patrick, this is what I was saying. I say, all right, we're done, we're gonna go, and 45 minutes later, we're still talking.
Oh, don't worry, that's how it used to be on the podcast. It's all
so man. That's where, and that's where they're actually getting better, because some of the first ones I've been doing this for 5 or 6 months now, but it's just the Monday night one's been officially named the Bacta Tank, and just trying to edit that from a YouTube channel show to a podcast where you have breaks, or we're talking and it's like I'm talking to Rural Farm Boy, I'm talking to you, and you're seeing my facial expressions, or like you can understand what's going on because you're seeing me, doesn't really translate to audio very well. So it's a lot of editing, just breaks out and
editing,
and it's just taken me so much where I think I'm just gonna, some of the ones I don't have done, I'm just going to do really quick edits and try and take the big breaks out. And, I don't edit any content out because it is what it is. It's just the big breaks, or, like where I was just talking 30 seconds ago and there was a 4 or 5 second pause. If somebody's listening at a podcast and it's 4 or 5 seconds without talking, they're like, did something happen to go out? What's going on? And there's sometimes the ones that are a lot longer because I'm showing something or doing, whatever it is. But yeah, I think I'm just going to do some quick edits on those and try and get those out. I'm 2.5 weeks or 3 weeks behind on my calendar. I think I just posted a bunch. I think I posted 10 in the last week. And I think I'm on the 13th or 14th of March. So, even if I do 4 or 5 of those a day, it's still going to take me a week to catch up on those. Yeah. So anyways, all right, we're going to go again. And thank you for stopping by, Gannon. Are you 136 or 136?
It doesn't really matter how you say it. It's I just say 136. But you guys can find me over on Twitter at Gannon136. I'm always sharing fun stuff. Normally it's stuff Rural Farm Boy sharing. I'm just retweeting his stuff. So go check me out over there, and would love to come back and chat with you guys some more. So if you want to find me, just go over there.
All right, will do. And Rural Farm Boy, thank you for stopping by and talking about some art with me. And I guess the consensus is I did a Twitter poll and I said, do you guys want me and Rural Farm Boy to work on the visual dictionary, or do you want to do the art book? And I was hoping people were going to say the art book, and it wasn't a very popular poll
Really?
but I think it was 8-1.
Wow.
I mean, popular vote wise, like not a lot of people voted on it because it wasn't a thing to vote on. Like if you're not going to watch it, who really cares? So why would you vote on it? Just skip over it. But yeah, so I think it was 8-1 is what it came out to be number wise. So people want the visual or the art book. So the visual dictionary is on hold for a little while until I get through this art book and then the visual dictionary, and then we'll figure out do we want more art books or visual dictionaries because I got all of them. We got lots of time to go through them. I don't mean lots of time podcasting or live streaming. I just mean we got the rest of the world to go through this stuff.
Yeah.
I got
the visual dictionary's been out for 5 months. This book's been out for what, 2 days?
It came out yesterday, yeah. And I would have done it yesterday, but it just didn't fit into the schedule. So, but all right, I'm going to let you guys go.
I'm placing my order right now for this book.
All right. See, I should. I don't have enough followers, but I should look into getting the Audible thing and the Amazon thing. But I think you need too many people to order or go through you, or they kick you out, is what I've been told. So.
Oh, you're talking about the Prime?
Yeah.
Or hit the publisher up and ask for review copies, like some of our other friends are doing.
Yep,
and if you're going to review it, you'll get it for free.
Yeah, well, that's what I need. I need to get a couple of these. I need to get a couple of these in here, and I mean, I'm doing 2, and they're not reviews, they're walkthroughs or whatever. But I also don't know how they feel about it. I'm showing the content for people that haven't bought the book, so I don't know if they. It's not like I'm doing a book review. I'm going through the books page by page, so I don't know how they feel about that, if that's something different or not, because they might feel people aren't going to buy the book because I'm doing this. But I don't think I'm going to.
You're hunting.
You're
hunting for advice.
I got Patrick buying the book. Patrick saw me going through the book. He's buying it, so.
I'm buying it now after I saw what I saw, but I buy most of the art of books anyways. I'm going to be picking.
Well, we won't tell Amazon that. We're just going to say you bought it because of me.
Yeah, I'm buying it because of TooMed, guys. Let it be known. Let's keep it on the record. It was because of TooMed.
So, all right. So, all right. I'm really going to go this time.
If you're hunting for advice on this, send a quick DM to David Jesse or to Alan Voivod, 7x7, and ask him how to go about this, and say this is what I'm kind of aiming to do. Would this fit them? Possibly saying yeah, and you might get some quick answers to that, and maybe be able to carry on with obtaining a review copy.
Yeah,
I think either of them fellas got the answers for you.
I think it was probably Lauren a couple weeks ago when they got a copy of something. I said, "How did you get that?" Because I've been wondering how to do it. And she said it took months. We contacted them, and they said, "All right." So. They usually want proof that you're doing the books or reviews or something like that. So,
yep, it takes a while. Alrighty, there we go.
All right, we're gonna go now. Anthony, I'll talk to you in a second. But all right, Patrick, thank you for stopping by. Anthony, thank you for stopping by. And I said good day. May the force be with you.
May the force be with you.
And Delilah's around here somewhere. She was very shy today, so she'll be on.